Good evening, everyone, from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Welcome to Phillies baseball. Tonight, the Phils open a series with the Cincinnati Reds. Going for the Phils, Jeff Juden, and he will be opposed by John Smiley for Cincinnati. Harry Callis along with Rich Ashburn and Chris Wheeler on a muggy night here at Riverfront Stadium. And Whitey, it looked like the Phillies had pulled one out last night. A 3-run home run in the 8th inning by Mark Whitten, who has to have legitimate power coming over from the Red Sox for Dave Hollins. It was in this park that he hit 4 homers in a game.
Well, he does have a lot of power. When he was with the Cardinals, here's the ball he hit last night. He gave it a little ballet-like flourish at the end, but it reached those bleachers. And what was surprising to me about that, Harry, was that Smoltz was throwing the fastball right by him and then kind of dumped up that breaking ball that Whitten hit out of the park. And I think the Phillies are hoping, hey, where's this guy been for a couple of years? Nobody seems to know for sure, but they're hoping, he's only 27, that he can come back and recapture what he had a couple of years ago with the Cardinals.
Mark Whitten will be in the lineup tonight. The last time we were here, Wheels, Cincinnati fans were saying, will this team ever win? Well, yeah, they'll win. They've won a lot.
Yeah, they won a lot. That's right. I remember that it was 0-6, and they were going to fire Davey Johnson, the paper, second guessing Bowden for the players. And you know, we kept thinking, boy, they got a lot of good players here. They're going to win sooner or later. There's the way they started the season. Now they have the best record in the league. Yeah, they're even better than the Atlanta Braves. They're blowing their own division away. Second best in the major leagues behind the Indians, who are just up the road on Route 75. And a lot of people in this area think, well, wouldn't it be great to have a World Series where you go from Cleveland, Cincinnati, Cincinnati to Cleveland? And that would be 2 pretty good teams in a World Series.
Jeff Juden's only major league win coming against this Reds team. John Smiley going for his 11th win this year. We'll be back with the starting lineups right after these messages.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. The Yellow Pages.
Chief wants to water ski again.
We could use another bathroom, but I really had my heart set on a new kitchen. Until the furnace went. But instead of putting everything on hold, I got a Mellon PSFS line of credit. We'll be okay. I got the money I needed, even a little extra, for other important things.
Life Improvement Loans. Call 1-800-MELON-2. 1-800-MELON-2.
They shared a dream beyond measure.
You know that Easter vacation trip, there might be a slight change in destination. Maybe say the moon.
An adventure beyond words.
The clock is running!
And an ordeal.
Houston, we have a problem.
Beyond imagination.
Something broke on your daddy's spaceship.
Tom Hanks, Kathleen Quinlan.
Take it up with my husband. He'll be home on Friday.
Apollo 13, rated PG.
Back at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, where we had showers before the game, so the start of the game is going to be delayed. The ground crew just now taking off the canvas covering the bullpen areas where the pitchers will warm up. Jeff Juden for the Phils and John Smiley for Cincinnati. So it'll be at least 20 minutes before we can start the game as a result of the rains we had here earlier. It has stopped raining right now. Overcast skies. Supposed to be showers in the area the entire weekend, so hopefully we'll have no problems in getting 3 games in here. But they're supposed to get a lot of rains over the weekend, and it did rain fairly hard here for a while. Now it's almost completely stopped. But the starting pitchers have not started their warm-up tosses. So this game at the outset will be delayed because of the rains. Phillies struggling through this trip of won just one game out of 6 so far in the weekend here in Cincinnati. The Phillies coming into play 9 games behind Atlanta and 4.5 ahead of Montreal. Those Cincinnati Reds have a 5-game lead over Houston in their division, the Central Division, and 12 over Chicago. And followed by Pittsburgh and St. Louis, as you see. So the Reds have really been playing good ball. They have the best winning percentage in the National League. Just slightly ahead of the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, a lot of people in this state are happy, as we talked about in the opening, that they're playing so well. And of course the Cleveland Indians are a runaway winner in their division. And you know, they're thinking, well, you never know, maybe down the line we could actually play each other. Wouldn't that be neat? The I-75 series here in the state of Ohio. They're the division leaders, and you see Cincinnati with a 5-game lead over Houston without Jeff Bagwell. And there's the wild card race as it stands at this time. But Cincinnati Reds are a strange team in that they have great power, second in the league in homers only to the Rockies, who play in that bandbox, and they lead the league in stolen bases. So rarely do you find a team that has both home run power the way this team does and stolen bases. Their question mark is their starting pitching. They went out and got David Wells. They went out and got Portugal after Rijo went down. They've got 21 wins out of Shurik and Smiley, which has to be a surprise for them. And that's what they're looking at right now, is whether or not their pitching is good enough to take them all the way this year. Certainly their offense and their defense are.
Well, and the acquisitions of David Wells certainly going to help. Portugal has not pitched all that well for him. He'll be pitching here tomorrow night. He has not pitched all that well, but David Wells was Detroit's best pitcher, and he had a good start in his first outing in the National League for Cincinnati, so he certainly is going to help.
Yeah, he was a guy that when he first came up with Toronto, and we used to see David Wells a lot in spring training, you know, he was a hard throwing left-hander, kind of a wild guy, looked like a biker. You know, in fact, he loves those motorcycles, and you know, kind of with a big old belly on him and stuff like that. But this guy has always been a quality pitcher, and the Reds are pretty fortunate to have him. In fact, Whitey was telling us that Sparky Anderson told him up the Hall of Fame game on Monday, boy, I got a good one right now in David Wells. He's pitching great, and about an hour later they traded him.
Yeah, Sparky was unaware that he was no longer had the big left-hander, David Wells, on his side. Well, the ground crew taking the canvas off. Pitchers will be taking their warm-up tosses here shortly. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Cincinnati Reds owner Hard shot of the Cincinnati dugout.
That's David Wells, Harry. He looks different without that mustache, and his hair's a lot shorter, because when you come here to Cincinnati, you must comply with the no facial hair and a lot shorter hair regulations. So guys always look different when they put on a Reds uniform. You think Santiago, Bo Diaz when he came over. I mean, that's hard to believe that's Wells.
Dates back a lot of years too, that policy of no facial hair and not real long hair. I don't know when they started that, but it was quite a few years ago, before Marge became one.
Oh, well, when they had Wagner and who's it?
Bob Housen.
Bob Housen. They used to call him Nixon and Haldeman when they were here, because of the way this place was run. It was run like Fort Knox.
Now the Phils will finish this series at Cincinnati, then be home for a homestand. The good thing for the Phils is that most of the month of August the Phillies will be at home. Be a 3-game series in Houston. Then at the end of August the Phillies will go on a West Coast trip, but for the most part playing most games at home.
Yeah, and they've been away so much. This trip has been difficult, not only in wins and losses, but you know, it's been a tough trip. There's a lot, and the homestand before that, even though they played well, they've been playing in this intense heat almost every day, no matter where you go. So you know, they feel they should be 3-3. You know, if, and you know, that's what sports are. You can't make excuses, but when you take 2 leads into the 9th inning and Slocum's done such a good job for you this year, you think, hey, could very easily be 3-3 on this trip and still feeling pretty good about things. But they're 1-5 coming in here to face the best team in the National League right now, the Cincinnati Reds.
And John Smiley is walking out toward the bullpen area. He will start his warm-up tosses here. Don Gullett, the pitching coach, will Look on, and Smiley has won 10, lost 1. His ERA is 3.38. He has a win on a no decision against the Phillies. He beat Michael Mims at Veterans Stadium 12-3 and had a no decision. In his last outing, he beat the Dodgers at Los Angeles 3-2. He'll be vying to tie his teammate and a couple of others for the league lead in wins, although Greg Maddux, who has 11 wins, will be pitching tonight at Montreal.
Yeah, well, Maddux doesn't lose very often, that's for sure, and neither does John Smiley. The other guy that's done such a great job is Shurk. I mean, Pete Shurk, who we'll see on Sunday, when you look at the league leader categories in pitching, Shurk's up in a lot of them. Smiley's up in fewest walks and, of course, wins. But Shurk and Smiley, two left-handers, have won 21 games for this team. And that's really remarkable, not so much for Smiley, who was, tied for the league lead in wins in this league a few years ago with Tom Glavine, but for Pete Shurk, who anybody could have had a few seasons ago from New York.
Smiley's win over the Dodgers in his last outing at Los Angeles was his career 100th win. He's won 100 ball games and lost 71. And he's posted some real good numbers. As Wheels mentioned, at Pittsburgh in '91, he was a 20-game winner, 20-8, tied for the league lead in wins.
I think the difference in him, we saw him pitch a game in spring training, and the first thing we noticed was he was throwing his fastball so much more. He used to throw the changeup a lot, and you always thought, gee, this guy has a pretty good fastball. Why didn't he throw it more? Well, he seems to have done that for whatever reason. He had elbow problems. Maybe he's healthier than he's ever been. But when you watch Smiley pitch now, he throws his fastball a lot, uses his changeup often, and he's always had a good breaking ball too. So, I mean, I just don't think it's any surprise that John Smiley's a quality pitcher in this league. He's always had that kind of ability, and he's having one of those years with a very good team.
He was supposed to start last night's game against the Mets, a series which the Reds swept, but he was pushed back a day because of a stomach virus, and they started Dave Burba. Another recent acquisition to bolster their pitching. Dave Burba pitched well in the starting role. Jeff Juden has pitched a lot of games against Cincinnati. He's only pitched 13 major league games, and 5 of them have been against Cincinnati. His major league debut while in a Houston uniform was made right here at Riverfront in 1991, and his first outing for the Phillies when he came over to the Phils was also right here at Riverfront Stadium. His lone win was against Cincinnati at Veterans Stadium by a score of 3-1. He came over to the Phils along with Doug Jones in December of '93 in the deal that sent the Wild Thing, Mitch Williams, to Houston. Number 1 draft pick of the Houston Astros initially in '89. He was the 12th player picked. Big guy, 6'8", 265, out of Salem, Massachusetts.
And another one of those guys who has a great opportunity right now with this team. Bobby Munoz is injured again, and they're evidently going to make a decision on him when the Phillies get back to town. But it doesn't look real great for Munoz. Tommy Green is back here. It's been well documented how many injuries this team has had this year, especially in the pitching staff, and that really started right out of the chute in spring training.
Not only is Tommy Green back, but he will be pitching tomorrow night against Mark Portugal in game 2 of this series, and on Sunday Sid Fernandez goes against Pete Shurk. So Jeff Juden with an opportunity to work his way into the starting rotation. Hopefully the rains have passed us for tonight, as the pitchers are taking their warm-up tosses right now. Joel Youngblood.
An anniversary for Joel Youngblood today. This is the anniversary of the day that he got hits in 2 different cities. He was playing for Montreal for New York Mets at Chicago, got a hit at Wrigley Field, and then was traded to Montreal, who just happened to be in Philadelphia. Hopped a plane, came to the vet, got into the game in the 4th inning in right field, got a base hit in that game. That is an amazing accomplishment, because I don't think today's age you would find a player go to another team in the same day. Sometimes you have enough trouble getting them there in 2 days.
Yeah, that was remarkable. Youngblood, one of the coaches for Davy Johnson. Johnson, in his last year as manager of the Reds, they've already announced that he will step up into the front office next year, and Ray Knight will take over in 1996.
It is a bizarre way to operate, but you know, there's Davy right there, and especially, you know, you've got a manager right here. The team has the best record in the league, second best in baseball, and they say he won't be here next year no matter what happens. And Davy, early in the season when we came in here, Richie went down to do a pregame show with him and asked him that question, and Davy said, "Whitey, I'm not answering that question anymore, but since you're my friend, I'll answer it." And he didn't really want to talk about it for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very bizarre situation, and you can't help but think he'd be pretty marketable for somebody.
I would think so. He's been very successful wherever he's managed. He had some great years with the Mets as a manager.
Well, obviously he has great talent here. I mean, they've done it. Jim Bowden's done a good job of bringing players in here, and they've just gone out and spent a whole safe full of money to bring in more players here to help them. In a small market town, you know, it's kind of strange that they're out doing those kind of things. You know, you keep hearing from the Reds that they don't have any money, and then they go do that, which, you know, everybody kind of shakes their heads. But they did bring in some people that they think can help them. And there's Lewis and Santiago. They're two guys that were on other teams. As recently as a few weeks ago was Darren Lewis, and Santiago, of course, was with Florida last year. So they brought in a lot of different people, and it's worked for them. And I just, you know, the managers get enough blame when things don't go right. You think sometimes they should get a little credit, and I think Davey should get some credit. There's a guy they had patience with.
Really?
You know, they signed him, kept him around for the year, and now Ron Gant's having a great season.
Having an outstanding season, and who would have thunk it? He missed all of last year with that dirt bike accident that he suffered during the off season, and you know, who knew how he would be able to come back after missing an entire season. Well, he has 22 homers and 60 RBIs.
There's a guy right there they got from Seattle who we used to know when he was about 4 years old when he was running around the vet and Jack Russell Stadium. Brett Boone, who has turned into an all-star caliber player. He's made one error this year. He's hit double figures in homers and has just had a tremendous season for the Reds in his second year in a Cincinnati uniform. And he and Larkin are very, very good up the middle, obviously. That's Jim Bowden, who's the general manager we were just talking about. That's always an interesting job when Marge is the owner.
Marge enabled them to pick up some salary in David Wells.
That's what I'm saying. To me, that is one of the more remarkable things that happened is the way they complain. Heck, they came around here today and they give you one set of stats and notes, and there's none in the bins back there because they say you get one. That's it, you know, and that's all you need really. But they don't have anything back there, and yet they went and on the upper level really loosened it up and went out and got a bunch of players. So that's the first time really that we've seen that happen in Cincinnati during her reign. And they enjoy her in the dugout with that dog, I'm sure.
Shotzi and Marge Schott. This game is scheduled to start, according to the announcement in the press box here, at 7:55. And hopefully it will stay dry for the remainder of the night for this first game of the series between the Phils and the Cincinnati Reds. Mark Portugal was carrying a pretty hefty salary also coming over here, and Portugal will be pitching against Jim Fragosi's Phils tomorrow night. Jim Fragosi and John Vukovic in the Phillies dugout. Rains came right around 7 o'clock, and it continued to rain till pretty close to game time, so it took the ground crew a while to get the canvas off and get the starting pitchers loosened up. Tommy Green will get the start tomorrow. Just up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre. In his last start, he had a shutout going into the 9th inning, gave up a leadoff home run in the 9th, still won that game. Marsh up from the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre Red Barons. Marsh will be playing in center field. Barons have won 4 of their last 5. Dennis Springer got the win last night, and Kevin Jordan drove in 3 runs. Second baseman Kevin Jordan, who was picked up from the Yankees in the Terry Mulholland deal, according to Tommy Green and Tom Marsh, and the guys up from Scranton-Wilkes-Barre, they feel like he's a legitimate offensive player. He's got a good bat.
Well, this is one of those situations where everybody's just kind of hanging around right now waiting for this ball game to start. There's Gallagher, who's going to play tonight in center field against the left-hander John Smiley. Tom Marsh, who Harry was just talking about, is going to be the left fielder. Andy Van Slyke will not play tonight, at least start, and neither will Longmire. Smiley is very, very tough on left-handed hitters. Tough on everybody, but he's especially tough on left-handed batters. So those right-handed hitters will play in the ball game tonight. Plus, Fregosi feels that he needs to rest Van Slyke a little bit. He had to play him a little bit more than he wanted there for a while, and he wanted to give him a little more rest if at all possible, especially with Dykstra down, because Van Slyke's going to play a lot. There's Jim Fregosi and John Vukovich looking on. They've been very happy with Tony Longmire, especially the way he has hit left-handers. But most managers with young players will try to protect players against certain pitchers, and they don't even tell them that. They just do it. You know, so that they don't always have to face a real tough left-hander, and they'll maybe put him out there against a guy they think they have a little better chance to handle. So Tony sits tonight.
Reverend Ed Rusk, his wife Sherry, and daughters Megan and Brittany from Pensacola, New Jersey, have been on this trip, going to Atlanta and to Cincinnati for this series. They missed Chicago, but we're at Fulton County Stadium, and again here at Riverfront.
Well, anniversaries here. Mr. and Mrs. Tom Collins from Mayfair. 51 years they've been married, and Richard and Alberta Schmidt. They have been married 50 years. Here's another one. How about these people have been married 75 years? Mr. and Mrs. Raymond Mosley. Mr. and Mrs. Raymond Mosley, married 50 or 75 years. No, they've been Phillies fans for 75 years. They've been married for 50.
All right. That's
I can't
better.
imagine that. Yeah.
Golden wedding anniversary.
Golden wedding. Right.
Married 53 years. Ruth and Walter Victor.
That's right. Anyway, Mr. and Mrs. Raymond Mosley, may you live to be married 75 years. That's 50. That's great.
Larry Boa checking out the bats, see if they have any hits, listening to see if there are hits in those bats. Mariano Duncan always smiling. Joe Mullaney of Olney, Pennsylvania, 70 years old today, and Alice Tomlinson of Medford, New Jersey, 85 years old. Ed and Ruth Pinner of Laurel Springs, New Jersey, a golden wedding anniversary, their 50th.
A lot of 50-year wedding anniversaries here tonight.
Lineup cards now are being handed out at home plate by managers Jim Fregosi and Davey Johnson. With the umpiring crew, this is Jim Quick's umpiring crew. And the game will be starting shortly as John Smiley has completed his warm-up tosses. This ballpark is 330 down the lines, 375 to the power alleys, 404 to straightaway center. But it is a comfortable park. It's a good home run hitter's park. The ball really seems to carry here. The ball jumps out of here. We had a long argument, not necessarily an argument, but discussion on a flight back from here one year, and talking about how people say the ball jumps out of the bat, and it does, but most agree that the ball flies out of here better even than the bat.
Oh, I can't imagine anybody would say that vet more than this. This place is a bandbox. Plus, the fences are a lot lower. These fences are what, 8 feet? The vet are 12. I mean, that's a big difference in line drives that go out of this ballpark. Plus, it's hot here, a lot hotter in the summertime. the dimensions are basically the same, but this is a much better home run park.
Now we are standing for the singing of our national anthem by Nicole Dusing.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Nicole Dusing with the singing of our national anthem at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati as the Reds have taken the field for game 1 of this 3-game series. John Smiley has taken the mound. Smiley having a little trouble, it looks like, with the front part of the rubber.
Well, that mound looks, you know, it's
Looks
clay.
wet, but,
yeah,
I guess it's not.
it's not because it's clay, but it looks, boy, it looks different. Of course, because it is a different surface, but I guess he thinks it's all right.
Jim Fragosi's starting lineup tonight. Mickey Morandini, second base, leads off. Greg Jeffries, first base, batting second. Tom Marsh, the left fielder, hitting third. Darren Dalton will catch and bat fourth. Mark Whitten in right field, hitting fifth. Charlie Hayes, third baseman, bats sixth. Dave Gallagher in center field will hit seventh. Kevin Stocker, the shortstop, bats eighth, and batting ninth and pitching Jeff Juden. That lineup is facing John Smiley.
John Smiley is 6'4", 210 pounds. He's now 30 years of age, born in Phoenixville, graduated from Perkiomen Valley High School in Graterford, 10-1 on the year, and has beaten the Phillies a ball game and also been involved in a no decision. Has outstanding numbers.
1.7 walks per 9. That is fourth best in the National League. Defensively behind him, Mark Lewis at third base, Barry Larkin shortstop, Brett Boone at second, Hal Morris at first. Benito Santiago behind the plate. In the outfield from left to right, Ron Gant, Darren Lewis, and Reggie Sanders. Umpires, Larry Poncino will call the balls and strikes. Jim Quick, the crew chief, at first base. Bob Davidson at second, and Bill Hahn at third. And Mickey Morandini will lead it off. Mickey has that batting average up to 290. He is tied for 7th in the league in doubles with 23 of them. Morandini playing against this left-hander. Jim Fregosi will play him against some left-handers. Other times he'll give him a rest. But really, with Lenny Dykstra out of the lineup, the Phillies need a leadoff man, and Mickey's done a pretty good job in taking that role as he takes a strike, 0-1. Fouls it off, 0-2. Marie Fagley of Boyertown, Pennsylvania, 84 years of age today, on this August 4th. One ball and 2 strikes to Mickey Morandini. .391 in his last 11 games. Ground ball right back at Smiley, where he had it, but he throws out Morandini. That's one down, and that'll bring on Greg Jeffries. Teresa Campaferri in Levittown, 75 years of age. Annabelle Melito of Palmyra, Pennsylvania, 76 today. Jeffries hitting at 290. He's slowly creeping up on that 300 mark. He's batting 382 right-handed. 1 ball and no strikes. Has good career numbers against Smiley, especially with a long ball. He's hitting 293 lifetime off Smiley, 3 career home runs. Drops a foul on a changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Seen the 3 pitches of John Smiley now. He threw Morandini 1 breaking ball, no changeups, fastballs, and Greg Jeffries just got the changeup, which is it's one of the best in the league when he's on with it.
Fastball looped over the head of Barry Larkin into left center field for a base hit. He didn't get it all, but enough to sling it over the head of Larkin. Had Larkin been able to jump and catch that ball, he would have, but he saw that he couldn't.
Harry, meaning by that Barry Larkin's about as athletic as any shortstop in this league. He's a pleasure to watch play this game. He's had a lot of injury problems over the years, but evidently is healthy right now, and when he is, he's the best.
Brings on Tom Marsh. Marsh hitting at 288. No strikes to Marsh.
That's one of the changes of Smiley, the way he throws his fastball inside. I mean, he jammed Jeffries and Greg just fought it off, got a hit. Fastball in on the hands there to Marsh that he took. But Smiley didn't used to pitch inside all that much, and he does a lot more now.
Missing. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Nothing to Tom Marsh. Jeffries first base, 1 out here in the top of the first. Pops a foul. It's going to go behind Cincinnati's dugout in the first throw and out of play. 2-1. Jeffries trying to read the signs being flashed by third base coach Larry Boa. First, Jeffries not a big lead, back easily. Beats the breaking ball foul, 2-2. Jeffries moving on the pitch, 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Tom Marsh. Tomlinson of Medford, 85 years of age today. Two and 2 to Tom Marsh.
On this August 4th.
Very good. So Whiteness is here today.
That's correct. He'll be here in the 4th.
In the dirt, it's a full count.
And we'll find out how Larry Poncino's doing.
He is the plate umpire.
Yeah.
Marsh was hitting .318 at Scranton Wilkes-Barre, 10 homers and 46 RBIs. Jeffries goes, swing and a miss, strikeout, double play. Marsh goes down swinging. Jeffries thrown out from Santiago's knees to retire the side. No runs a hit, no errors, and none left after 1/2. Phillies nothing. Reds coming to bat.
Whether you're negotiating a deal.
Okay, if you're good, I'll read you a story.
Come on, make it 2.
Calling in an order.
Skip the strawberry. We want chocolate.
Scheduling a meeting.
I'm at the Big Artichokes.
Or just checking in with the boss.
Honey, is it okay if I stay another half hour?
The most important thing.
Hello?
Is that the call goes through. A mobile phone is only as good as the system it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile, the heart of communication. Call 1-800-255-BELL.
People come in and say, why 5 grades of gasoline? I tell them offering only 3 grades would be like selling suits in small, medium, and large. Some people would get a good fit. Some could use a little tailoring. So if you want to know why we give you all these choices, think about the guy who needs 41 long and picture him wearing a 39 short.
Schmitty. Share a tribute to the man many consider the greatest third baseman of all time and receive a limited edition print by a Hall of Fame artist. The Phillies honor Mike Schmidt Saturday, August 12th before the 8:05 Expos game. Call 463-1000.
Bottom half of the first inning here at Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati. Phil's failing in the top half on a strikeout double play. Strong throw from the knees by Benito Santiago. And Jeff Juden will make his second start for the Phillies after being called up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre, where he was 6-4, although in his last 7 starts he was 5-2 with a 2.61 ERA, so he had pitched well in his last 7 starts. Original first-round pick of the Houston Astros. Davy Johnson starting lineup for the Cincinnati Reds tonight. Darren Lewis, center fielder, will lead off. Barry Larkin at shortstop bats second. Hal Morris, first base, hitting third. Reggie Sanders, right field, bats fourth. Ron Gann, left fielder, hitting fifth. Brett Boone, the second baseman, bats sixth. Benito Santiago catching, hitting seventh. Mark Lewis, the third baseman, bats eighth. John Smiley pitching, hitting ninth. They're facing Big Jeff Juden. Juden 6'8", 265. Darren Lewis batting at 253. 1 strike to him.
Darren Lewis is an opposite field hitter. Phillies have seen a lot of him over the years with the Giants, so they're playing him that way. Gallagher shading him towards right center and Witten over towards the line.
There's another one, foul to right field.
He's an inside outer for the most part, and guys like Darren Lewis actually like the ball in so they can work it that way. You're more effective a lot of times with Lewis to just pitch him away and take your chances.
Came over from the Giants in the Deion Sanders deal, and the rains are falling down. Umbrellas sprouting up throughout the ballpark, and some fans are heading for the shelter of the grandstand. Ground ball, nice backhand grab by Juden. He throws out Darren Lewis. 1 down here in the bottom of the first. And that will bring up Barry Larkin. Larkin batting at 305. Tied for 6th in the league in runs scored with 61 of them. He's knocked in 47. Going down pretty steadily now, and they're going to call time. Jim Quick is the crew chief of this umpiring crew. So after a delay at the outset of around 30 minutes, 25 minutes, we're going to have another delay here after 1/2 inning of play. The ground crew will quickly try to get the canvases on the base paths and the pitching mound. And they're going to bring out the big canvas as well. It's the kind of weekend it was supposed to be here in Cincinnati. Lots of rain. Also forecast for tomorrow and Sunday, so we might be logging a few hours here at the ballpark. Phillies went down in the top half of the first inning. Jeff Juden got the first man in the bottom half. And so we'll wait out this rain delay, and hopefully we can get this ball game in. It's always tough for managers with their pitchers because you hate to see a pitcher pitch 1/2 an inning, or in Juden's case the 1 batter, and then possibly tighten up a little bit, have to go back out after a rain delay, especially if they keep coming.
Yeah, these are the kind of nights, and as you mentioned, there's a chance we could have a lot of this weekend. We could really mess up a staff, you know, because your starters might go early because you can't send them back out. Most managers, as you saw Fergosi and now Davy Johnson, have a feel on how long they will wait, or they will not send a guy out after a rain delay. In other words, if it goes 2 hours, won't send him out. Hour and a half, won't send them out. If it goes an hour, they will send them out. So when you talk to managers, they all have a different feel on that. And of course, a lot of it depends on the pitcher, whether or not maybe they've had a little arm trouble or something like that, and then that enters into it.
So the ground crew now is putting the canvas on, the big canvas on the field here. We are in another rain delay. There was a little rain delay at the start of this game, and now here in the first inning. When we resume, Cincinnati will be at bat in the bottom half of the first inning with 1 out and no base runners, and Barry Larkin would be the batter. Houston and Pittsburgh are in the 8th inning, tied 5-5. Florida leads the Mets 3-0 in the second. The Marlins have been hot of late. And Atlanta has jumped on Montreal with a 3-0 lead in the third behind Greg Maddux.
Might be enough.
That might be over. Greg Jeffries, who has a hit in this game. He got a hit his first time up, was doubled up on a strikeout double play. There's Sid Fernandez. He'll be pitching on Sunday. Now Sid has pitched well for the Phillies. So we are in a rain delay here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. We're in the bottom of the first of a 0-0 game. Hopefully we will be resuming shortly, but right now we invite you to enjoy This Week in Baseball.
This ball is gone! Wow!
2-2 from the Rocket.
Gone!
Williams on the move.
Diving stop by Cal. Oh, Bosch!
Well hit down the left field line.
Way back in.
Thanks for a go. He's got a good jump.
The 0-2. Struck him out with a fastball.
What a play by Alomar.
Grand slam, Craig Thomas. Oh, boy, what a catch.
And the 6-game drought is over for the National League.
Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. And coming up, heading for the Hall of Fame.
Pete Rose told me back then I was the best player in the game. What Pete Rose said at that time, I believe.
He shakes hands with all of his teammates. What a wild scene in Montreal.
Coming up next, y'all, right here on This Week in Baseball. This Week in Baseball is brought to you in part by Red Dog Beer. Bold yet smooth. Unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog.
Okay, listen. Some of you hounds are getting all turned around dealing with the opposite sex. It's real simple. Be your own dog. And if that ain't good enough for her, she ain't good enough for you. How you doing, ladies? Of course, it's easy for me to say.
Red Dog Beer. Bold yet smooth, easy to drink.
I was born beautiful.
This is L.A. We have tons of friends. This is Posh. This is my wife. This is my neighbor. This is my son-in-law. This is my very good neighbor. This is my number 2 daughter. Hi. This is my neighbor, John. When I found out that I needed surgery, it was kind of a shock.
Luckily, it turned out.
Aflac really helped protect our savings. Just really took the worry away.
Aflac covers the unexpected cost of getting better so you can get on with life.
Don is definitely not a dancer.
In 9th grade, before I got my first part, there was the time I didn't make the school play. And to me, the world had ended. So I came home after school and was crying in my room for at least a couple of hours when my dad came in. And there we sat, at least until midnight, with me sobbing and my dad just listening to me telling things like how I read over that final list of names on the drama room door at least 20 times while praying I'd see Victoria Stewart among the other names that had made it. And, he didn't tell me some story about how he didn't make the football team in junior high or how there would be other things to look forward to. In fact, he really didn't try to tell me anything. I just remember he listened. He really listened to me.
If you're listening to your teenagers, now you're talking. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
The availability of
This is Greg Maddux, the best pitcher in baseball. He could very well win his 4th straight Cy Young Award this year, and he's a big reason for the Atlanta Braves' sizzling surge into first place. Naturally, there are other reasons. Would you like to see 3 of them? Okay. Brian Klesko's hitting in the 340s, primarily against right-handers. He's also got a lot of bats.
I've got about 6 or 7 different model bats that I use. You know, I was known as a Batman in the minor leagues. I had different model bats, different everything, but you know, I go around trying different stuff. If I feel like I like to use that bat in BB and I like it, I'll use it that day. But I've been sticking with these bats I've been using this year, and they feel comfortable, so I'll probably just stick with that.
Rhino has 1 million bats. None of them are his. You know, whatever feels good that day, he's going to borrow from somebody and pick up and hit with. But I don't think he owns a bat with his own name on it.
The name Mark Wohlers is sure getting around. Mark had just 7 saves in his career with Atlanta, but this year he's got 11 already. Hey, Mark, what's up, man?
My first year in the big leagues was in '91. I got called up in August, and then before I knew it, I was in the World Series. When just the year before, in 1990, I was in low A ball down in Sumter, so everything was really accelerated. Everything happened to me real fast, and before I knew it, you know, I was in the big leagues, I was in the World Series, and everyone was talking that I was supposed to step in and be the next closer for the Braves for the next 10 years, and it was, you know, it was a lot to live up to.
I think that he's coming in and going strike one. He's establishing his ground immediately. And now, when you go around the league, it isn't Mark Wohlers fearing a great hitter. It's the hitters fearing Mark Wohlers. He's reversed that.
Well, the Braves sure reversed their fortunes with a blue chipper pick in 1990.
With the first round, first pick goes to the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta's selection is Larry W. Jones. He's a shortstop from the Bowles School in Pearson, Florida.
Great kid, he's a winner, and he's a team guy, and he's blessed with a lot of ability. And he only had 11 games in spring training in which to get his defensive skills honed down at third base. He had never been over there in his life. He had played some outfield with us. We've had him in right field when Dave went down. We've had him in left field. You know, Matt Williams is the best defensive third baseman in baseball for my money, and Chipper's right behind him right now. He's going to be a good one.
This is the knuckleball that's thrown by Tim Wakefield of the Boston Red Sox. It's given him a 10-1 record and an American League best 1.63 ERA.
Now the payoff to Jay. Knuckleball struck him out. Wakefield's knuckler is really dancing.
Oh, man, look. Oh, that's a good one. If he does that, you just got to take your hat off and say, nice pitch.
After the inning of getting out with the strikeout, a nice tip of the hat. And that's really got to feel good after what he's been through the last 2 years, not winning in the big league or the minor leagues.
Yeah, it feels great to be on a winning club again. I was talking to Zane Smith and Stan Blend about this. Every time we come to the ballpark, it feels like we're going to win, and that's what we felt like in '92 in Pittsburgh.
Tim Wakefield threw 138 pitches tonight in winning for the 2nd time in 6 games in the National League Championship Series. He's the 3rd pitcher in history to throw 2 complete games in the same League Championship Series.
But following his spectacular rookie season in '92, Wakefield was hit hard. Ended up in the minor leagues through '94. Early this year, Pittsburgh let him go, and Boston general manager Dan Duquette signed him right up. Had a secret weapon he thought would help Wakefield regain his form.
Tim Wakefield needed a tune-up. We had an edge in that we had the Negro brothers working out in Fort Myers. They were willing to work with him. We had a couple of guys on our staff, Eddie Haas, who had been in Atlanta with the Negros, and Eddie Robinson, who recommended we sign Wakefield. They had worked with the Negros in Atlanta and knew how lethal and good knuckleball could be. And, of course, we had seen Wakefield in '91 and '92. He practically won the pennant in '92 for the Pirates after they brought him up when everybody was looking for pitching down the stretch. So he just needed a tune-up. He needed a mental tune-up. Now he's throwing the knuckleball free and easy, and it's floating like it did for him in the past. And it's a lot of fun to watch. You see that knuckleball that come floating up there, and it renders these big power hitters defenseless.
Without him, the Red Sox might not be in first place right now. He's filled the Roger Clemens void and is making it look, well, so easy.
Just throw it over the plate. There isn't a whole lot of strategy. We go over some reports, but it doesn't pertain to me at all. I just try to throw as many strikes as I can and let my defense catch them.
Great round of applause and a terrific job for Wakefield. The Red Sox needed 7 1/3 innings out of them tonight. They got it.
Now, time for this week's quiz, brought to you by Buick. Dodger catcher Mike Piazza is currently hitting near .350. Now, can you name the last catcher to win a batting title? The answer, right after this.
When was the last time you played in the rain? Let your hair go wild. Flexed your muscles to the world. Stayed up past your bedtime. When was the last time you really had fun in a car? Riviera by Buick. Go ahead. Express yourself.
There are times when you think of family, long gone. How you're 40 or 45 or older and time has passed by and you've got this empty feeling of how terrible it is. How little you really know about your own family because you never got around to asking. What a loss if you never knew how they got here, who they traveled with or left behind, or what they had in their pockets, where they were going. Could they have done it all when they were just 6 or 7? Family History Center at Ellis Island will be your second chance. Your support will help us computerize records of 17 million immigrants. Help you discover your past. Family History Center can be just a dream, or it can be a place to learn more about your past than you ever dreamed of. It's up to you. You can let your past slip away, or you can grab this incredible gift. Support the center. Make it happen.
Now, let's answer this week's Buick quiz. The last catcher to win a batting title hit .342 for Cincinnati back in 1938. Talking about Big Ernie Lombardi. How about that?
Some 18 years ago, I left Dayton, Ohio with 2 very bad knees. And a dream to become a Major League Baseball player. I thank God that the dream came true.
But it wasn't always easy. In Mike Schmidt's rookie season, he hit just .196 with 18 home runs and drew some tough love from then-manager Danny Ozark.
I said, you're going to hit the way I want you to hit, or you can take off. I said, your damn .198 average didn't impress me or anybody else, and your .245 average over there didn't impress me.
Well, Mike did take off on a first-ballot Hall of Fame career. He played 18 seasons, all of them in Philly. 10 times an All-Star, 3 times the most valuable player. And in 1980, he helped lead the Phillies to their first pennant in 30 years.
The pitch to Schmidt. Long drive to left field. He buried it. He buried it way back. Out of here. Home run. Mike Schmidt puts the Phillies up 6-4. Oh, what a drive by Schmidt. Unbelievable.
Well, Pete Rose told me back then I was the best player in the game. What Pete Rose said at that time, I believed. And knowing that Pete thought that, of course, Pete had a pretty good eye for who was playing the game well, really fueled my confidence.
That confidence reached an all-time high in 1980 when the Phillies won their first World Series title ever. And Schmidt was named both League and World Series MVP.
The 1980 playoffs World Series celebration the following day in the city down Broad Street in Philadelphia of 7 million people, a ticker tape parade, I think will be forever documented in this city. That was one of the great moments in Philadelphia sports history.
Get out of here.
Hit to deep left center.
Get up, get up. Out of here,
Out of here, home run. Michael Jack Schmidt and the Phillies lead it 4-0.
I felt that 1981 was the pinnacle the high point in terms of performance for Mike Schmidt. I set some standards for myself as a player, defensively and offensively, that year that were going to be awful tough to live up to for the rest of my career.
Right back and off the glove. And he will not. Mike Schmidt, what a play to get him. Whoa, look at this. What a play Mike Schmidt made.
If there was any fun on the field, for me, it was the great play. I would work on the great play. I didn't like to work on routine ground balls. I like to work on, you know, the tough ones and the strange ones. And, you know, the easy play for me was the high chopper in infield. You had a bare hand or the ball way deep in the hole or way behind third. That was a play I had fun with. That's where I got my notoriety, making the great play.
And Mike Schmidt is going to bat. He will bat, seeking home run number 500 with runners at first and third, 2 down in the ninth. And you talk about a home run being important.
And 3-0, I told myself, now go with what got you here. Get down on that ball, and he threw me a knee-high fastball, and I swung right down through it, and the ball.
The 3-0 pitch. Swing a long drive. There it is. Number 500. The career 500th home run for Michael Jack Schmidt.
I knew as soon as I hit it, it was a home run. And that allowed me to react emotionally. I didn't plan that. It was not choreographed. Maybe if I had it to do over, I could have, you know, hot dogged it a little bit more, take a little more time, but I was so happy.
Great players do great things. That's a great thing you just saw there.
End of story.
Not quite. Schmidt went on to hit 548 home runs, earned respect as the greatest third baseman ever. Joining Schmidt at the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies this weekend, fellow former Philly Richie Ashburn. Ashburn was a center fielder who led the majors in outfield putouts a record 9 times. He had 234 stolen bases, scored more than 1,300 runs, and he hit over 300 9 times.
Because of my speed, I didn't really get involved in any slumps. If I topped the ball or I could bunt, I was a good bunter. I think the longest I went without a base hit, I think, was 32 times, 0 for 32. And yet that same year, I hit 350.
Rookie of the Year, twice batting champion, 5-time All-Star, National League champion in 1950. Remember, the Phils led Brooklyn by 1 game when they met in the final game of the season. 9th inning, score tied at 1. Brooklyn, 2 men on. Duke Snyder singles to center, and Ashburn throws Cal Abrams out at home.
It wasn't a tough play. It's a play that I had practiced probably hundreds and hundreds of times. It was what it was a routine play at a crucial time.
The Phillies went on to win the pennant that year, and Ashburn went on to hit 308 in his career. Since 1963, he's been a Phillies announcer, one who finds a silver lining in most everything.
Had this happened 20 years ago, my grandchildren wouldn't have been able to see it. So now they're seeing it, and I'm pleased about that.
Okay,
Brute presents Men Are Back. Don Mattingly's been put down by a lot of people of late. But you know, fans, men are back, as Donnie Baseball showed in the Yankees' 7-game winning streak.
way back to right field. Goodbye.
That's his 3rd homer in this homestand, and he is really on a tear.
Want to see something cool? Want to see something really cool? New Brute Clear Gel Antiperspirants and Deodorants with click control. 3 clicks give you just the right amount you need for all-day protection. The click keeps you cool from morning to night. Because the last thing you want to do is lose your cool. Brute by Fabergé, the essence of...
Now you see it. Now you don't.
Negative contact. Sorry, nothing up there but sky.
It's not just a revolutionary new aircraft. It's a revolutionary new technology called stealth. And it will make an airplane all but invisible to radar. With not just exotic shapes, but advanced composite materials and onboard computers so sophisticated, their performance is no less than astounding. So if you want a career in tomorrow's technology, take a close look at the Air Force, because sometimes the biggest opportunities
Still nothing, sir.
are the hardest to see. Aim high, Air Force.
Now, this week's Aflac trivia question. Dante Bichette's 18th home run was his first on the road. Now, who was the last man to hit his first 17 home runs at home? Think 5'11", folks. When Dave Stewart retired this week, baseball lost one of its best ambassadors.
Now, you know with that glove, you're a lifetime Oakland A fan now. All right? While you open it, you got to get your hand in there. See, put your hand in there. You got your hand in there, right? There you go. There you go.
Dave Stewart began his career with the Dodgers in 1981, moved on to Texas and Philadelphia, but never really found his groove. It wasn't until 1987 with Oakland that he emerged as a four-time 20-game winner under the tutelage of Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan. So thanks for all your goodwill, Smoke, and so long, buddy.
I think it was Robin Yount that said, you know, I always want to be good to the game because it's really been good to me. And I never want to disrespect anything about this because it's taking care of me. It's taking care of my family.
Next up, the top 5 plays of the week, brought to you by Red Dog Beer.
The pitch to him. Driven toward right center. Marquise. Did he get it? He got it. He got it. Marquise Grissom saved 2 runs. The little guy in center field really pulled one off. Here's the 2-2. Right back up the middle. Shortstop Jay Bell. Nice play. Little backhand flip to King on to first for 2. How many times has Jeff King played second base?
I don't know, but he looked pretty comfortable. That was a dazzler.
In the 3-2 pitch. The drive right center field. Langford, what a play! What a play by Ray Langford.
A lot of times you see guys dive when they don't have to. That was a full extension dive and a great catch.
Lays out a beauty of a bunt. And is thrown out by a beauty of a play, and Chipper Jones is down. He may have run headlong into Javi Lopez. That's got to be almost like getting hit with a sucker punch, isn't it?
2-2 delivery. Vizcaino up the middle. Dunston cannot get it. Making the turn, Jeff Kent. Up with the ball, McRae. McRae's throw to the plate. Cut off. Grace. The throw to second is in time.
Grace is right there. His only hope is to cut it off and try to get Vizcaino.
But the greatest catch of the week was also the most horrifying. Pittsburgh center fielder Jacob Brumfield made it as he crashed into right fielder Dave Clark Tuesday afternoon against Atlanta. The game was delayed 23 minutes while both players were immobilized. Brumfield suffered deep cuts and bruises. Clark, a broken collarbone, which will most likely keep him out the rest of the year. But it could have been a lot worse. Now, let's answer this week's Aflac trivia question. Who was the last man to hit his first 17 homers at home? He hit 511 as a total. Mel Ott in 1943. Time now for the Alka-Seltzer Player of the Week. It's the Angel in the outfield, rookie Garrett Anderson. One of the reasons California is doing so well. Garrett hit near 500 this week with 7 runs scored, 9 RBIs, and 2 home runs as California pulls away.
It has been belted by Anderson. Garrett Anderson. When will it stop, if ever?
Everybody hates to eat and run.
rather take it slow. But the way this life is going, gotta grab your food and go. And when all that running round catches up with you at last, get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
For acid indigestion or heartburn with headache, nothing makes you feel better faster than Alka-Seltzer.
Get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
You know, I got no problem with a dog being tough, but you gotta control it.
Stop right there.
Yo, Shep, be cool. Some dogs have been trained to be antisocial. It ain't their fault. Come on, boys. You're acting like fools. See?
How you doing, Red Dog?
You got the goods. You don't have to prove it.
Red Dog beer. Bold yet smooth, easy to drink.
My friend, you are real brave.
Please stop crying. Well, all my friends drink. You know, it's not like we get drunk or anything. We just like to have a good time. Get off my back! Don't you think you're making a big deal out of this? I mean, I don't have the problem. You have the problem. No more drinking. Stop crying! Promise it's the last time.
You've tried everything. Nothing's worked.
Maybe it walked out of your purse. Maybe you lost it. Don't go accusing me.
But there is hope. Get through to us at the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, and we'll help you get through to them. Just as we've helped thousands of others. Just don't give up.
What's the matter? Don't you trust me?
Back at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, where we are in the bottom half of the first when play is resumed. 1 out and no base runners. Barry Larkin will be the batter. Phillies went down on the top of the first. A base hit by Greg Jeffries, but he was erased on a strikeout double play when Tom Marsh went down swinging. We had a delay of 24 minutes at the outset of this game. And now here in the first inning, another rain delay, but we should be getting underway shortly.
They're spending a lot of time working on the mound right now as we look at John Smiley, because Juden could go out there and start warming up and get this thing going. But we mentioned how weird that mound looked after that first rain delay. And now they got that big old roller out there working on it. Usually don't see the roller come out during a game. That's the kind of work they'll do before and after ball games. But they obviously, the umpires and the ground crew, felt that they needed to pound it down a little bit more, the clay area out there, and they're spending quite a bit of time trying to get the mound ready, and that's why we're delayed longer than we thought we would be.
John Smiley will warm up from the bullpen mound for Cincinnati, and as soon as the regular mound is ready, then Jeff Juden will go out and take some warm-up tosses from the regular mound. So we've had 2 rain delays thus far. And hopefully the rains are past us. There's Jeff Juden, who got the first man out. Darren Lewis on a comebacker to him. And Barry Larkin will be the batter when play is resumed. Quite a few Phillies fans here. Steve Steinbrecher and Ernie Reeves of Northeast Philadelphia. They now live in Ashland, Kentucky. Sending along their best to the gang back at home. And don't forget, coming up on Monday night, a big night at Veterans Stadium, the annual Phillies autograph and auction party for the fight against Lou Gehrig's disease. There are a limited number of admission tickets available. Those tickets will only be available to purchase until noon on Monday. So if you wish to attend this great night at Veterans Stadium on Monday night, call to order your tickets by phone. Call the Phillies at 215-463-1000. They will be open to take your orders Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4 and Monday from 9 to noon. Tickets are $15 and all goes for the great cause, the fight against ALS Lou Gehrig's disease. So the Phillies ticket offices will be open on Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4 and Monday for ALS tickets from Monday 9 until noon. Just call 463-1000. It's always a great night at Veterans Stadium. Phillies now taking the field, and Jeff Juden will take his warm-up tosses. He'll get as many as he deems necessary. Bottom half of the first inning. Jim Fregosi and batting coach Dennis Menke. And the umpires return to the field. So we will be getting underway here shortly in the bottom half of the first inning.
Brett Boone and Ray Knight. Ray Knight is there imitating Brett Boone's batting stroke, the way Boone holds that bat up in the air and waggles it. That's the first thing we saw about Brett Boone when he came over to this league. How much movement he had in his swing and how big a swing he had. And being a little guy, you thought, gosh, can he generate that kind of bat speed? Well, yeah, he can. The reviews are in for Brett Boone, and they're real good. And the more you look at him, he looks so much like Sue, his mom. It's unbelievable. When he smiles, it's like Sue's sitting there.
He's hitting an even 300 and has played outstanding defense for the Reds at second base. Jude now evidently is ready. And Barry Larkin will be the batter with 1 out and no base runners. Juden working in his second game since coming up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And one previous start. And we're set to go. 1 ball and no strikes to Barry Larkin. Two and nothing to Larkin. Larkin is among the league leaders in runs scored. He's scored 61 runs, tied for 6th in the league in that department. Ball's behind him, 3-0. On the inside corner, 3 balls and a strike to Barry Larkin. Base hit center field, so Larkin halts an 0 for 10 as he lines a single back through the middle. Larkin is a 1-out base runner, and that'll bring up Hal Morris. Larkin is tied for the league lead in stolen bases, so he'll have to be watched. He has stolen 32, and he's only been thrown out twice.
Reds run a lot, too. They hit and run. They steal bases. They're a team with all this power, and yet they run the bases a lot. So with Juden, as tall as he is, and as long as he takes to get it to the plate, look for them to run.
Larkin goes on the first pitch. Breaking ball. Dalton, no prayer. Stolen base. Barry Larkin is 33rd.
Yeah, they didn't waste any time. I mean, Juden is real slow to the plate. You could see him lift his leg, take a long time to deliver the ball, throw a big breaking ball, and Larkin just scoots on the first pitch and no problem stealing that base.
So Larkin at second base. 1 strike to count to Hal Morris. Morris batting .228, but he has an 8-game hitting streak alive, hitting .375 in the last 8 games. One ball and 1 strike to Hal Morris.
Morris was one of those guys, when we were here early in the year, was off to a horrible start, and they were all over him. But you knew sooner or later, I mean, Hal Morris is going to hit. He's a guy that you think is a good offensive player.
Lifetime .313 major league hitter. This is a foul behind the Phillies dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Hal Morris.
See his style of hitting. He is way off the plate, and he goes into everything and tries to hit the ball the other way. Once in a while, you throw a pitch inside to him, he'll set up a pitcher and he'll turn on it. Obviously, he's had good luck against Juden, but for the most part, he's an inside outer. Look how far he is off the plate, and yet he does go into the ball pretty well.
Another one out of play. Still 1-2. Jim Linden, Brett Klopp, and Dan Swigert of Ephrata here cheering for the Phils. Barry Larkin at second base, 1 down. Bottom half of the first. We've had rain delays of 24 minutes at the start and 34 minutes in the first inning.
Larkin wants to go again.
Base hit to left field. Larkin, a late start, will hold at third base. And the Reds have runners at first and third with 1 down.
And typical Hal Morris hit a ball away from him, and he hits the ball the opposite way. Larkin started to go on that and then stopped and then had to make sure it wasn't caught. There you see the sinker ball away, and he just hits it that way.
Almost like he wants the ball out there.
Yeah.
It seems to me like you could try to tie him up inside even as far off the plate as he is.
I think sometimes they do, or sometimes they figure, well, we're going to stay out there and just let him keep hitting his singles to left.
Brings on Reggie Sanders. He's having quite a year, hitting .309. Tied for third in the league in doubles, 25 among the league leaders in triples with 4. Tied for 7th in the league in runs batted in with 64. Well hit to deep center field, and this ball is caught brilliantly by Gallagher, and they would have had a shot at a double play at first, but Mickey Morandini couldn't handle the throw. Coming in to score Larkin. But what a great play by Gallagher to save Juden all kinds of problems.
It was an unbelievable play by Dave Gallagher. Let's see what happens. It looked as if he almost trapped it on the padding out here. It's over his shoulder. Wow, what a catch.
Great
Circus catch. I thought they might even appeal to third just for the heck of it to see if Larkin got confused and left early, but obviously they don't think he did.
They'll give Sanders a run batted in. The Reds lead 1-0. Al Morris at first base, and the batter will be Ron Gant.
Good fans here. They're applauding that replay up there on the board of that catch by Gallagher.
That's a big-time trouble for Juden here. Temporarily, anyhow, and here's Ron Gant. 1 ball and no strikes. Gant hitting at .265. Tied for 4th in the league in homers, 22 of them. He's knocked in 60. He's been in the throes of a bit of a slump. He has 1 for his last 21. Missing with a breaking ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Juden, after the rain delay, coming out single, and a great catch by Gallagher to get him the second out of the inning. Another base hit. Holding at second base will be Morris. Well, the Reds with 2 men on base and 2 outs for Brett Boone.
Juden is short on all his pitches right now. His fastball is he's not throwing hard at all, and he's been hanging his breaking pitches. See Ron Gant, who has not been swinging the bat well at all, lined that ball in the center field.
Van Hall and sons Matthew and David from Gap, Pennsylvania, here for this weekend series, cheering for the Phils. Behind hitters too, and that's a tough way to pitch. Mike Wallace of Fort Wayne, Indiana, formerly from Reading, here with sons Chris and Jeremy, taking them to their first big league ball game.
says, "That's a balk." And he says that well. Evidently, Juden was on the mound and made some kind of a movement. It was called by the second base umpire, Davidson. He must have flinched some way because Davidson called the balk.
And Davidson has been known to call balks.
That's what I mean. He says that well.
1-0 the count to Boone. A cut at the fastball, fouled it back. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Here he is. He's on the rubber. Sets. There. See his hands move? His hands move. It was a balk. A lot of guys won't call it, but he did balk as his hands moved when he was in the set position. Bob was correct.
Two balls and a strike to Boone. 1 run in. Runners at second and third for the Reds. 2 down here in the bottom of the first. Santiago waiting on deck. Almost hit him. Walks him to load the bases, and that'll bring on Benito Santiago. Johnny Padres will pay a visit to the mound to talk to Juden. Padres and Darren Dalton, catcher out there. He's been hurt because he's been getting behind hitters. Trying to get out of this first inning with just 1 across as Benito Santiago comes to the plate. Santiago is hitting at .325. Just 2 months of the season after arthroscopic elbow surgery. When he has played, he's been effective. He's hitting .423 with runners in scoring position. Fouls off a pitch right into the radio booth.
Dropped by Glenn Eberhard, who was our technician over there for a long time. Was right in Glenn's hands, and back out into the crowd she went.
Not a good effort put on by his whiteness or Andy Muss.
No, they were ducking. Which is smart.
No balls and a strike. Upstairs for a ball, 1-1. Santiago kind of helped Juden on that foul ball. First ball swing was a breaking ball that appeared to be away.
Well, Benito has been a wild swinger throughout his career.
Center field. Gallagher will make the grab and then will retire the side. The Reds get 1 on 3 hits, no errors, leave them loaded after 1-0 Cincinnati.
AT&T, this is Judith.
Hey, Judy, I got a special fax line.
Uh-huh.
To give MCI's biggest savings, my fax needs its own circle of friends.
Friends?
Now, how's it gonna make friends? I don't even let it date.
You and your fax need AT&T True Savings. There's no better way to save 25% without circles.
No circles?
Sign up, make $10 in calls a month, and we'll subtract 25% off your AT&T bill.
The faxes to modems to anybody in the U.S.? I mean, even on my calling card?
Yeah.
Hey, well, sign us all up. Hey, nobody's talking to you.
AT&T True Savings. Save 25% to anybody. That's your true choice. AT&T.
Most manufacturers show their four-wheel drives in places where, quite honestly, you'll never go.
Billy! Billy!
But for exceptional comfort and control on your next adventure, you need the driver control system found only on the new Chevy Blazer. The all-new Chevy Blazer. it's nice to know it's there.
After 1 inning of play, Cincinnati 1 and the Phillies nothing. Upcoming telecasts of Phillies baseball include the final game of this series with the Reds at 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and next Tuesday night's game with the New York Mets from Veterans Stadium on the Sports Channel at 7:30. Darren Dalton leads off for the Phils. Dutch hitting at .239. It's not been a good lifetime hitter against John Smiley, just 2 out of 16. High ball left field. Ron Gant makes the grab. 1 down. That'll bring up Mark Whitten. Whitten on September 7th of '93 had quite a night here at this ballpark. Second game of a doubleheader, 4 home runs and 12 runs batted in the ball game. Hit his homers off Larry Lubers, who was the starting pitcher. Hit 2 of them off Mike Anderson and 1 off Rob Dibble. A big home run in last night's game, and the Phils couldn't hang on to the 4-3 lead that it gave them.
Remember much about Lubers or Anderson? Were they right-handers?
Yeah, I think so.
Because that means he hit all of them left-handed.
I think they were.
I just don't remember those guys. I mean, they weren't around very long. He had 13 RBIs in that doubleheader. He only had 1 in the first game.
Hard ground ball, but it's at third baseman Mark Lewis. Throws wide, and Jim Quick saying that Morris got back to the bag. I don't think so, but Quick rings up Mark Whitten on a wide throw by Mark Lewis. I don't believe he got back to the bag. We'll see.
He had a lot of time to make this play, and Morris makes a heck of a play if he did get back.
No.
Nope.
He did not get back. But when things are going bad, that's what happens. And here's Charlie Hayes hitting at .277. 1 strike to Charlie Hayes. Fouls off the fastball, 0-2.
Here it is again. So you can see Whitten's foot. Well, that's close. You know, we slow it down like that, and Quick has 1 shot at it. But it appeared that he just did barely beat it.
High 1 ball and 2 strikes to Charlie Hayes. Charlie lifetime against Smiley is a .303 career hitter, including a home run. Him out, and that'll retire the side. The second strikeout for Smiley. No runs, hits, errors, and none left. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Cincinnati.
The Bud Ice Light Backyard Barbecue and Music Festival returns to Philadelphia August 3rd through the 6th on the grounds of the Core State Spectrum. Come down and sample all the different kinds of barbecue from local and national restaurants. While you're there, stop by the PHL 17 booth for special surprises. There's lots of games and activities for the kids, special celebrity appearances, and great music acts every night. Don't miss the Bud Ice Light Backyard Barbecue and Music Festival, brought to you by PHL 17.
Back when I was a teacher, we were insured with traditional health coverage. So I wanted to find out why the Norristown School District employees chose to go all blue with personal choice.
I have a toddler at home, so I appreciate the $5 office visit.
Wellness programs from Personal Choice help keep my family in shape.
No claim forms. I've got enough paperwork to deal with.
I'd be lost without my easy-to-use prescription plan.
Ask your employer about switching to Personal Choice. Freedom, quality, and affordability you can lean on.
Nobody does it like you, the way that you do. Nobody's got the power to please me.
The Hoover Power Drive Cleaner. It's self-propelled forward and back with reversible drive wheels and fingertip control. The self-propelled Hoover Power Drive.
It makes the cleaning so effortless, you might say it's child's play.
Hoover, nobody does it like you.
At Pep Boys, save $40 on our premium brake service. Our ASE certified technicians will install Raybestos lifetime brakes for only $59.99 after rebate. Get lifetime brakes installed for only $59.99 at Pep Boys now.
Our trivia question tonight is brought to you by Dodge. Only one time in their history, the Cincinnati Reds have had 3 players to drive in 100 or more runs in the same season. Can you name those 3 players who had 100 or more RBIs in the same season for Cincinnati? Mark Lewis leads it off. Lewis hitting at .361. 1 ball and no strikes to him. Lewis, a 25-year-old. He's out of Hamilton, Ohio. They got him from Cleveland in a deal that sent Tim Costo to Cleveland. He was a high draft pick by the Tribe. Second player selected in the 1988 draft. Breaking ball hit sharply, but at Kevin Stocker, and Lewis is retired. 1 down here in the second. That'll bring up John Smiley, the pitcher.
All right, that Cincy team that did that was that a Cincy team in the 70s?
No, it was not a Cincy team in the 70s. It was not guys off the Big Red Machine, which you might have guessed it would be.
I think Bench, Perez, Foster, those kind of guys.
Smiley was hitting .154. He's hit 2 home runs this year. One of them off Michael Mims and one off Steve Traxel.
Was it a Reds team in the 60s?
No.
50s?
Yes.
Jeez.
That ball hard but foul down the left field side. 1-2 the count to John Smiley. Nothing Cincinnati. We're playing here in the bottom of the second. Got him with a breaking ball. First strikeout for Juden. 2 down here in the second. They'll bring on Darren Lewis. Lewis grounded back to the mound his first time up. 2 outs and no base runners here in the second inning. Reds lead 1-0. Tries to push Bud his way out and bunts it foul. 1 strike. In the Big Red Machine years of the 70s, Bench and Perez combined for 100 RBI seasons 4 times, but there was never a third 100 RBI man in the same year. George Foster also combined with Bench and with Morgan in different years, but never a third man in the same year.
Right. I mean, the year that Foster hit over 50 home runs in 1 year. Here he won the MVP.
Yep. He balls a 1 strike to count to Darren Lewis. Well, that's how many runs Greg Maddux has to work with, and that might be enough. 4-0 Atlanta leading Montreal. Maddux for the Braves. And Pedro Martinez pitching for Montreal. Walks Darren Lewis. Second walk given up by Juden. That'll bring up Barry Larkin. Larkin singled his first time up. That halted an 0 for 10 for him. He stole a base and scored a run. Darren Lewis can steal bases also. He's pilfered 23. He has been thrown out quite a bit. He's been thrown out 9 times.
Yeah, when he came over here, he just added more to their total. Their league-leading total. He's stolen 2 bases in 4 attempts since he's come over. Lewis is as he said in the paper here today, he's going to run a little bit more here because over in with the Giants, he didn't run much in front of Bonds and Matt Williams.
And running certainly a part of the Reds game this year. Rips the ball, but foul down the left field side. 1 ball and 1 strike to Barry Larkin. Junior throwing a lot of breaking balls in the early going. Does not appear to have a real live fastball in the early going. He has been pitching behind a lot of hitters. Runner goes. The pitch is a strike, and out at second base is Darren Lewis on a great throw by Darren Dalton. Dalton to Morandini to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left after 2. 1-0 Cincinnati.
My dad was always there for me. This was my chance to be there for him. I knew we needed an extra room, but the money was tight. I couldn't have done it without a loan. And my Mellon PSFS banker came through for me. That's what family is all about.
Life improvement loans. Call 1-800-MELON-2. 1-800-MELON-2.
But what is it?
It is water.
And I'm its thirsty little flower. Intellectually, it slaps me in the face.
It's...
Excuse me. It's a private issue. The new private issue card lets you choose from designs painted by celebrities. Plus, you pick the features you want, even your billing date. Thank you.
He's the artist.
Oh, yeah, and a musician on the side, I believe. What's the card you design? It's a private issue. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
This summer, when it gets really hot, Dunkin' Donuts suggests you cool off with a cup of coffee. Iced coffee, that is. It's the coolest thing around. It's Dunkin' Donuts' world-famous coffee brewed from our premium beans and served ice cold. So if you want to chill out on a hot day, come to Dunkin' Donuts for a refreshing cup of our delicious iced coffee.
It's very cool.
Kids 14 and under, give yourself a pack on the back when the Phillies play the Expos Sunday, August 13th at 1:35. This cool carry-all has lots of special zippered compartments. It's vibrant red with a Phillies logo. Call 463-1000.
Dave Gallagher leads off for the Phillies, hitting at .322. Line drive into left field. That's going to fall for a base hit right in front of Ron Gant. So Gallagher picks up the Phillies' second hit, a line single to left, and it will bring on Kevin Stocker. Well, the Phillies media guide, the same ones that we use, are available now, containing all the facts, figures for the Phils, historical information on the team and past players. You can get your media guide by calling 463-1000 or write to Phillies Media Guide, Box 7575, Philadelphia 19101. Media guides are $12 by mail, including shipping. You can also purchase them in person at Veterans Stadium during home games. 1 strike to Kevin Stocker. Stock batting .224. Fastball is over, 0-2. We're in the third. Reds lead 1-0. Got him with a breaking ball, struck him out. Third strikeout for John Smiley. He'll bring up Jeff Juden. He'll probably be up there to bunt. Juden just 1 hit lifetime in 16 at-bats. It came against Cincinnati when Eric Hansen was pitching for the Reds. The infield talks it over with Gallagher at first and one down. He's around a bunt and takes it wide for a ball, 1-0. Our trivia question tonight brought to you by Dodge. Only one time in their history, the Cincinnati Reds have had 3 players with 100 or more RBIs in the same season. Can you name them? The year was 1955.
How about Frank Robinson?
Good guess.
You gotta be kidding.
Incorrect, however.
How about Wally Post?
One of them, 109 RBIs for Wally Post that year.
How about Clue?
Big Ted Kluszewski had 113 that year. He's another one. Juden gets the bunt down nicely. Morris to Boone. Sacrifice is good by Juden. Moving Gallagher to second base and bringing on Mickey Morandini.
Oh, you got to give me a position. I thought I had that with Frank Robinson.
Outfielder.
Outfielder. Rip Rapolsky. No, I'm only kidding. Outfielder. Gee, 1955 Reds.
This guy's son was also a very good ball player.
Gus Bell.
That is correct. Morandini flies one into center field. It's snagged there by Darren Lewis. And the Phils are out here in the third. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the third. 1-0 Cincinnati.
Mr. Sampras, you know why you're here, don't you?
I'm too nice.
We'll fix that. Let's see. Go up to the umpire. You say, you were wrong.
You were wrong.
Swat a few balls, throw a few rackets. The ball was in.
The ball was in.
I'm incompetent. Yell at me. Say the motto. Play loud. And eat your pizza the wrong way. Crust first.
Why didn't you say so?
Stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. With a zesty new sauce and cheese baked into a new thinner crust, you'll want to eat it crust first.
2 at once. I created a monster.
Large, just $9.99.
I just started my own company, so I leased a new Volkswagen Passat. $249 a month. It's the best deal around. I'm marketing an electronic toll collecting device, so you'll never have to stop to pay for a toll again. Good news for drivers. Passat's a true German road car. Track-correcting rear suspension, rack and pinion steering, and oh yeah, 4-wheel disc brakes. But hopefully you won't be using them to stop at toll booths anymore.
On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Well, this guy on the Milwaukee Brewers, Jeff Cirillo, he sleeps with his bat when he's in a slump. Turk Wendell has this thing when he's pitching on the mound. He chews black licorice. And Dwayne Ward of the Blue Jays, he wears the same shirt under his jersey for every game.
Hey, Dad, pass me that Lucky Gravy.
I told you not to call it by its name, Lucky Gravy. Now you've jinxed it.
Bottom half of the third inning, Cincinnati leading it by a score of 1-0. And Barry Larkin will lead it off for the Reds. He has scored the only run of this game. He singled, stole second base, moved to third on a base hit, and scored on a sacrifice fly. Phils are back home on Tuesday against New York, August 8th, 9th, and 10th against the Mets at 7:35, and Montreal moves in Friday the 11th, 7:35, Saturday the 12th at 8:05. Mike Schmidt tribute night on Saturday the 12th, 13th backpacks for all youngsters, and a business person special on the 14th against Montreal at 1:05. Got your tickets for that coming homestand by calling 463-1000. 1 ball and no strikes to Barry Larkin. He beats it foul, 1-1. Fouls off another pitch. Back up over the screen, 1-2 to Larkin. Jeff Juden got out of a tough first inning, giving up just 1 run thanks to a great catch by Dave Gallagher. Full count now to Larkin.
Aaron Dalton keeps trying to get Juden to get his arm up. That's that motion he makes with his shoulder because he kind of drops down and like he's throwing a frisbee up there sometimes. And when he gets his arm on top, he's got a little more velocity. When he drops that arm kind of down is when the ball, doesn't have a whole lot of movement. So you see Dalton every once in a while just shift that right shoulder, trying to tell him to get his arm on top.
Hard ground ball backhanded by Kevin Stocker and gets Barry Larkin by his stride. That's 1 down. I'll bring on Hal Morris. He singled to left his first time up. One out here in the 3rd inning. Reds leading 1-0. Sharply fair down the right field side. Whitten now has a great arm, and Morris respects that and will hang on at first base with a single.
Yeah, he had no chance to even try and test Whitten that time. Whitten was going to play possum with him a little bit out there, deke him a little, but the ball came off so fast off that wall that Morris was barely to first base and Whitten had the ball already.
I'll bring on Reggie Sanders. Here it is.
See the bounce he gets right there, and it comes right. See Whitten just kind of, go ahead, run. Let me have some fun.
Sanders hit a deep sacrifice fly his first time up on a great catch by Dave Gallagher. Starts him with a breaking ball for a called strike. Sanders, 27 years old, really coming into his own. A 7th-round draft pick by the Reds in the '87 draft. He swings through a fastball. No balls and 2 strikes. Nothing in 2 to Reggie Sanders. Missing. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good catch by Dalton on a pitch that bounced up there. It's 2-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Reggie Sanders. Morris at first, one of the few in the Reds lineup not a threat to steal. Bouncing ball tapped to short. Stocker tags the bag, goes to first. 6-3 double play, and that'll be it for the Reds here in the 3rd. No runs, a hit, no errors, and none left. Rich Ashburn joins Chris Wheeler in the 4th after 3, 1-0 Cincinnati.
Introducing the lineup of Phillies legends photo ball baseballs. Play ball! Collect all 5 at Burger King for only $2.99 each. Here's the play-by-play on how. Slide into your participating Burger King restaurant. Buy any large sandwich value meal. Run home with one Phillies Hall of Fame legend. Let's replay, slide, buy, score! Collect a different ball each week for just $2.99. Only at Burger King and only for a limited time. Get your burger's worth. What a steal.
Schmitty, nobody did it better. Join in a tribute to this Hall of Famer before the Expos game Saturday, August 12th at 8:05, and you'll receive a limited edition print compliments of MAB paints. The Expo series starts Friday, August 11th at 7:35, continues Sunday, August 13th at 1:35, when fans 14 and under get the best backpack to ever strap on a back free, and wraps up Monday the 14th with a 105 Mellon PSFS Business Person Special. Call 463-1000.
Greg Jeffries will lead it off for the Phillies here in the 4th inning. Jeffries, Marsh, and Dalton. Greg Jeffries batting in the 2-hole, singled his first time up. 1-0 Cincinnati here in the 4th. And Jeffries lines one right at Barry Larkin for the first out. Last time up he got jammed and flared it over his head. Actually hit that ball better.
Location.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a little surprised that Larkin missed the first one. He went up instead of going back a step. I think he just misjudged that semi-line drive a little bit.
Tom Marsh, the batter, struck out into a double play in the 1st inning. Marsh playing in left field tonight. Smiley has given up 2 hits, a single by Jeffries and the single by Gallagher in the 3rd. And the Reds have 4 and could have had a lot more runs. They only have 1 if it hadn't been that play by Gallagher.
He's been up there twice now. He's been 2-0 both times. The last time he chased ball 3, which hurt him in the scheme of things.
Ball 3 outside, 3-0. Smiley yet to walk a batter, and he has struck out 3 thus far. Takes all the way over for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike to Tom Marsh with Darren Dalton on deck. 30-year-old John Smiley, born in Phoenixville. Marsh fouls it away, full count. Lifetime against the Phillies, John Smiley 7-4. Been in a lot of games against the Phillies, 31 of them. Of course, he was a relief pitcher when he first came up with the Pirates. 3-2 pitch. Fly ball right field. Hit pretty well, but playable for Reggie Sanders. There, 2 down.
Give him a 3-2 off-speed pitch. Had a little break to it.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Phils and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Phillies. Dalton, the batter, fly ball to left his first time up. 2 outs, nobody on base. They play Dalton the pull. Smiley's pitch is high. Barry Larkin shading him over towards the middle. Brett Boone way behind the white line into the outfield with 2 outs. There you see Boone, how far back he is. Dalton swings and misses at a high fastball, 1-1. On deck is Mark Whitten. There is Whitten, who is 0 for 1 so far in this game. Strike 2 called. Phillies have never found this a real good place to win. 59-86 here at Riverfront Stadium, and a lot of them coming late, those losses. Lugosi and Vukovich look on. Hit him. Yes, it did. So Darren Dalton is a 2-out base runner, hit by the pitch. Phillies' 3rd runner of the night.
Just nicked him. Smiley didn't want to do that.
3rd batter that John Smiley's hit this year.
Right arm on the elbow.
And here's Mark Whitten, the switch hitter, 0 for 1. Grounded to Lewis, who threw wide to Morris at first, and then Morris tagged the bag, they said, ahead of Whitten on a close play. Smiley misses. 1 ball and no strikes to Mark Witt with a 3-run home run last night in Atlanta. He's at an even 200. Strike called. The count even at 1-1. Darren Dalton, a 2-out base runner. 1-0 Reds in the 4th. First of 3 here at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium this weekend. We've already had 2 rain delays in this game. Strike 2 call. 1-2.
Nobody's really caught up to Smiley's fastball. It's a good fastball. It's, you know, not a probably around 90, maybe a little above it. Once again, lucky he wasn't called out on that pitch. That was a pretty good pitch.
The count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Witt. Fly ball down the right field line. Reggie Sanders got a good jump on it. He's there, makes the play. Phillies gone in the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors. They leave 1 to the bottom of the 4th. 1-0 Cincinnati.
Burt Reynolds is the fastest man in the South, both on and off the track.
Ooh, I love your patch.
And he's a real sweet guy.
Oh, I'm not sweet. Good looking. Great stock car driver.
But feathers fly when he teams up with the king of fried chicken.
Here's your contract.
It's a cluck a minute. When Burt Reynolds, Lonnie Anderson, and Jim Neighbors team up in Stroke a Race.
Saturday at 5 on PHL 17.
Why do more Honda owners come back to Honda? Car after car after car. It could be state-of-the-art engine technology, or extraordinary handling, or maybe it's the feeling that Honda is one car maker that won't let you down.
In the news at this hour, James Austin, the Lehigh County man accused of shaking his infant son to death after he bought the boy from a surrogate mother, struck a deal today to avoid a possible life sentence. And the heat wave is taking its toll on people's moods. Why are so many of us so grumpy? We'll have more on these stories, plus sports and weather, all after the Phillies game. Join us here for Enquirer News Tonight.
Travel provided by U.S. Air. U.S. Air now offers the only daily non-stop service between Philadelphia and Frankfurt, Germany.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. By your local Dodge dealers. Come in today because we know how to help. And by Pizza Hut. Try our new stuffed crust pizza. 1-0 Cincinnati Reds as we look at the beautiful Queen City of Cincinnati, Ohio, here on the Ohio River. Just across the river from the state of Kentucky. This is a great baseball town. Ron Gant, the batter, he singled his first time up. And the Reds with the best record in the National League, second best in all of baseball behind those Cleveland Indians.
We're only leading 13-3 tonight in the 5th inning.
Wow. Charlie Hayes on 2 easy hops throws out. Ron Gant 1 away here in the 4th inning. And that'll bring up Brett Boone, who walked his first time up to load the bases, and then Juden got out of it when he got Santiago to fly out to center field with 2 outs.
Cleveland has a grand slammer out of that Manny Ramirez.
Out of the Bronx.
We never heard much about him. He has 25 home runs.
He was just a kid. There's the line on Jeff Juden. Manny Ramirez, a very young player from the Bronx in New York, who they have said good things about for a long time. Brett Boone just skids that off the end of the bat right to Jeffries. An easy play for Jeffries. 2 up and 2 down here in the 4th for Juden. Big swing, and he barely made contact.
Cue shot.
Probably wishes he'd have swung and missed at it. And here is Benito Santiago, 0 for 1. Santiago on the DL. with an elbow problem. Had to have some chips taken out, and has hit the ball well since coming back for the Reds. See him batting at .322. That ball's hit the center field, but Gallagher's right there, and a very easy 1-2-3 inning for Juden. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. To the Phils' fifth, 1-0 Reds.
Here's a look at this week's Mellon PSFS Financial Scoreboard, featuring our best CD rates. You can apply by phone. Call 1-800-MELLON-2. Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies.
The Pennsylvania Lottery has a new game. It's $1,000 a week for life. One more reason to stay alive.
There's no one else on the field like him. I hear he's a big milk drinker. I can tell. That energy, that strength, that body.
Forget it, girls. He's taken.
Milk, whole, low-fat or not.
Only run scored in the game in the first inning, and that was on a sacrifice play. Great play by Dave Gallagher in center field. Could have been worse. There were 3 hits and a balk in that inning.
And Charlie Hayes leads it off for the Phillies, a strikeout victim. His first time up. John Smiley's pitch down low. Smiley with no walks, 3 strikeouts, and a hit batter. Phillies with 2 hits in the game. Reds with 4. Low again, 2-0, and as Whitey mentioned, it could have been a lot worse in that first inning if Gallagher had made that spectacular over-the-shoulder catch in deep center field right up against the wall near the 404 sign.
Good cut by Charlie on that fastball, but he couldn't connect.
And he takes one over for a strike. 2-2 on Charlie Hayes. He'll be followed by Dave Gallagher and then Kevin Stocker. Pitcher Jeff Juden due to bat 4th in this inning. Charlie fouls it off, a late swing on a fastball. A lot of guys protect against changeups on Smiley and get late swings at fastballs. You've seen the Phillies hitting balls to right field. But Smiley this year uses his fastball a lot more effectively than we've ever seen him. Does not throw anywhere near as many changeups as he used to. Misses down low, 3-2. Mixes in a good breaking ball.
Seems like a hitter ought to be ready for the fastball. You can adjust and hit a changeup if you're looking for a fastball, but if you're looking for a changeup, you can't adjust and hit a fastball.
Off the end of the bat, broke it. Down to Lewis, the third baseman, throws him out, 1 away. The final business person specials coming up when the Phils head back to town. That'll be on Monday, August the 14th. The Expos will be at the Vet. There's a special gift for all fans. Compliments of Mellon PSFS. That's the continuation of the Pride of the Phillies poster, free for all fans. Call 463-1000 for your tickets. Game will begin at 1:05, the last one for 1995. Dave Gallagher's had a good night. That great catch and a single to left. Gallagher playing in center field. Tom Marsh, a left fielder, and Mark Whitten in right tonight. as both Van Slyke and Longmire get the night off against left-hander Smiley. This is with a fastball in, 1-1. Mark Portugal tomorrow night against Tommy Green, just back up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Sid Fernandez and Pete Shurik on Sunday. Nubs it foul off a changeup, 1-2. John Smiley 5th in the league in stingiest in issuing walks, just 1.7 per game for 9 innings, and he's yet to walk anybody tonight. Hit pretty well, but Lewis got a great jump on it, and he waits for it. Darren Lewis, just over from the Giants, makes the play. 2 down.
Well, if this fella has the flu, he's holding up pretty well.
Yeah, he was scratched last night.
Yeah.
They pitched Burba instead, and John Smiley was supposed to go against the Mets here last night. Smiley with 100 lifetime wins, 71 losses. Won his 100th game last time out against the Dodgers. Stocker fouls off a bunt. He's trying to get on base and get the pitcher out of the way with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. He struck out his first time up at Stocker. Smiley 20-8 with the Pirates in 1991, 3rd in the Cy Young balloting that year behind Glavine and Lee Smith. Stocker down the line and right. It is a foul ball, and it's 0-2. Colorado Rockies have 7 runs in the 1st inning against San Diego.
Milwaukee scored 8 tonight in the 4th inning against Baltimore. Of course, Cleveland had scored in every inning through the first 5 innings.
They score some runs in that AL.
For a total of 13.
0-2 now on Stocker. Fastball inside, 1-2 to Kevin. Jeff Juden, the on-deck batter. 1-0 Reds. We are in the 5th. The game a little late, even though it's moving along pretty well. Twice delayed by rain. Bounces up there, and it's 2-2. Smiley graduated from Perkiomen Valley High School in Graterford in 1983. Selected in the 12th round by the Pirates in June of that year. Struck him out. Down on strikes goes Stocker for the 2nd time tonight. The Phillies gone in order to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Reds.
Your advertising is your voice in the marketplace. Advertise in the genuine Bell Atlantic yellow pages, and your voice reaches more customers. A bigger ad gives you a bigger voice. A color ad gives your voice more impact. But if you don't have an ad, it's like having no voice at all. 9 out of 10 use it, and they're all ears. The genuine Bell Atlantic yellow pages. Bell Atlantic, the heart of communication.
This summer, when it gets really hot, Dunkin' Donuts suggests you cool off with a cup of coffee. Iced coffee, that is. It's the coolest thing around. It's Dunkin' Donuts' world-famous coffee brewed from our premium beans and served ice cold. So if you want to chill out on a hot day, come to Dunkin' Donuts for a refreshing cup of our delicious iced coffee.
It's very cool.
Now for deep cleaning, the Hoover Steam Vac. Not a vacuum, it washes out dirt, yet it's easy to use as you're upright.
Hoover, nobody does it like you.
At Pep Boys, save $40 on our premium brake service. Get lifetime brakes installed for only $59.99 at Pep Boys now.
This is PHL 17, home of the WB Television Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the AT&T Business Advantage. Let it work for you. By the Pennsylvania Lottery. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. And by Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile, introducing Mobile Reach, the only cellular network available in small, medium, and humongous. 1-0 in favor of the Cincinnati Reds on a first inning run. A hot, humid night here in Cincinnati with a rain delay prior to the game and then one in the bottom of the first inning. So we are in the 5th.
An official game.
An official game, right? Mark Lewis will lead it off. He's batting out of the 8-hole. Then John Smiley to follow. And the top of the order, Darren Lewis. He grounded his short his first time up, did Mark Lewis, former #1 pick of the Cleveland Indians. And Juden's pitch misses inside. Juden last inning had a pretty easy one. Total of 4 pitches, 3 up and 3 down. And he goes 2-0 on Lewis. (3-0). Juden has walked 2 batters, one in the first, one in the second. And he has 1 strikeout, that on Smiley. Kind of aimed that pitch and missed with it. So a leadoff walk to Mark Lewis here in the 5th inning, and that'll bring up Smiley, who struck out his first time up. John has 3 sacrifices on the air, and he will probably be up there to try it again. He's also hit a couple homers, one of them coming off Michael Mims at Veterans Stadium. Smiley shows bunt immediately, and Juden misses way high and outside. Ball 1.
He missed 5 pitches in a row and hasn't come close to the strike zone, and that's part of his problem. He never throws a borderline pitch.
Yeah, and we just showed he threw 4 pitches the entire 4th inning. He's thrown 5 here in this inning, all balls. One 4-0 Reds, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. Phillies in the bottom of the 5th inning at Riverfront. Round a bunt again. Smiley gets it down. It's a good one. Greg Jeffries fields. 2 more Morandini, sacked 3-4 on the play, and Mark Lewis moves to second base with 1 out for Darren Lewis. Lewis has grounded back to Juden, walked, and then was caught stealing. Coming into the game batting .257 since coming over here to Cincinnati, and .252 overall against the league. Mark Whitten starting to cheat a little bit in right field, because this guy hits a lot of balls to right field, and it could be very interesting if he were to do that and they try to send Lewis. So you see Whitten, how shallow he is. Lewis is trying to get a big lead. Lewis on second, and Lewis at the plate. This is Darren Lewis, the hitter, coming over in that Deion Sanders trade with the Giants. Mark Lewis, a pretty good lead off second. Now Stocker's trying to get him back a little bit closer. And a fly ball to right. It will go out of play down the line. And the count's 1 ball and 1 strike on Darren Lewis, who almost always hits the ball to right or right center. Jeff Juden in his 6th career appearance against the Reds, his most against any National League club, and his 4th right here in this ballpark.
Major League game against Cincinnati.
That was on September 15th of 1991 when he was with the Houston Astros, and his first Major League win against Cincinnati. Went 7 innings in that game. Struck out 9. Big lead by Lewis at second. 2-1 to Lewis. Fly ball, shallow center field. Well, a little more than shallow. Gallagher comes in, and tagging is Lewis. He will head for third, and he'll make it. So Darren Lewis flies out to center, and Mark Lewis winds up at third with 2 outs for Larkin. Barry Larkin singled, scored in the first, and grounded to short in the third. Batting at .306 is this multi-all-star performer. Really nothing Barry Larkin can't do in this game and do it well. Another one of these guys that's gone to a real wide open stance. Pitch to him is ball one. He has one, Gann has one, and so does Santiago. More and more hitters are employing this kind of stance. One ball and no strikes. Way outside, 2-0. On deck is Hal Morris, a left-handed batter. There is Morris, who has hit now in 9 straight as he's starting to get it going. Larkin pops it up. He had a 2-0 cripple and hit it way up in the air. Morandini and Mickey makes the play, and the Reds are gone. No run. Leave 1 and through 5. Cincinnati 1 and the Phillies nothing.
The chief wants to water ski again.
Look what's new at Blockbuster Video.
When the stakes are high, he's the best there is.
I'm the Repo Man. And you're out of business.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, Raul Julia, Street Fighter, rated PG-13 from MCA Universal Home Video.
And while you're picking up that new release at Blockbuster Video, don't forget to rent a Blockbuster favorite, too. Because only Blockbuster offers you love it or the next one's free. Guaranteed. Hey, who else can guarantee you a Blockbuster night?
Guys in the majors have a lot of different things in their locker, like gloves, bats. Me, I got these change of address forms. You can pick them up at any post office. These bring back a lot of memories. Oakland, Montreal, 95 Ram McNally. Realtors, most major markets. I got this ball from Eckersley when I played in Oakland. Not really from Eckersley, but from a vendor. Baltimore.
Backpack Day is coming up. The Expos will be in town on Sunday, August the 13th. Game time is 1:35. This is a real special gift for all fans 14 and under. A backpack with all kinds of special compartments for stashing all kinds of stuff. And it's in vibrant red with the Phillies logo. So come on out and see the Phillies and the Montreal Expos on Sunday, August the 13th at 1:35. For tickets, call 463-1000. Phillies are going to be home a lot pretty soon because they have been on the road quite a bit. And in the month of August, they will play quite a few home games, including the West Coast clubs coming to town later on.
Not playing nearly as well on the road as they did early. Of course, early, remember, they won that game here in Cincinnati, then went to Atlanta and swept 4-game series.
They won 2 out of 3 here and then swept that. They are 26 and 22 on the road right now, are the Phillies. The Cincinnati Reds have the best record in Major League Baseball on the road at 29 and 14. There's Greg Maddux, who gave up a run that was on a home run by Will Cordero, as he leads that game 4-1. Jeff Juden will lead it off. He sacrificed his first time up. Juden lifetime is 1 for 16, and that hit came here in this ballpark. An RBI single off Eric Hansen. Fly ball left field. Ron Gant drifts to his right, and the left fielder puts it away. 1 down here for the Phillies in the 6th inning.
That pitch on the end, he had a pretty good swing, and it was a breaking ball.
Mickey's grounded out and flied out. Mickey coming into the game tied for 8th in the league with 23 doubles. He had a real good series in Atlanta. 1 ball and no strikes on Morandini. And this pitch from Smiley misses low. 2-0. On deck, Jeffries, and then Tom Marsh to follow. 1-0 Reds here in the 6th. Fly ball hit to pretty deep right field. Sanders going back at the wall and has room and makes the play. Morandini hit it way up in the air, and it had a chance, but died on the back of the warning track for the 2nd out.
This got under it a little too much.
Mickey with a career high 5 homers and 38 runs batted in this year.
The flags are blowing up on the stadium towards third base. I don't know whether it's going to affect the ball much.
It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of wind right now. Early on when we had the rain, there was quite a bit of wind here. Jeffries the batter. Greg single to center and then line to short. His average at 291. Tries to check and did. 1 ball and 1 strike on Jeffries. That caught stealing was when he ran on a 3-2 pitch to Marsh, and Marsh struck out and he was thrown out at second. That was in the 1st inning. Jeffries with a line drive center field, and a great play by Darren Lewis. Lewis, one of the best in the league, got a tremendous jump on that and stole a base hit from Jeffries. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Reds bat in the 6th. Still 1-0.
It's no wonder that the new Chevy Blazer has such humongous cargo capacity. The hatch opening itself was designed around the dimensions of a washing machine carton. Of course, you might not always need all that space, but it's nice to know it's there.
Mr. Sampras, you know why you're here, don't you?
I'm too nice.
We'll fix that. Let's see. You go up to the umpire. You say, you were wrong.
You were wrong.
Swat a few balls, throw a few rackets. The ball was in.
The ball was in.
I'm incompetent. Yell at me. Say the motto. Play loud. And eat your pizza the wrong way. Crust first.
Why didn't you say so?
Stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. With a zesty new sauce and cheese baked into a new thinner crust, you'll want to eat it crust first.
2 at once.
I've created a monster.
Large, just $9.99.
Under the Sunday stars, you'll see today's stars: Piazza, Karras, Mondesi, Dykstra, Dalton, and Hayes. After the Phillies honor 4 of yesterday's greatest stars: Roberts, Carlton, Schmidt, and Ashburn, with a magnificent limited edition print compliments of Mellon PSFS, before the Phillies play the Dodgers Sunday, August 27th, in a special 8 p.m. evening start. The first 2 games in the Dodgers series are Friday, August 25th at 8:05, and Saturday the 26th at 7:05. Call 463-1000.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. By your Quality Plus 4 dealers, home of 5 of the top 10 selling cars and trucks in America. And by Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. Looking across the Ohio River from the state of Kentucky at this beautiful riverfront stadium here in Cincinnati. Opened in 1970, did this ballpark, as we look at the fans, and the word is they're going to get a new stadium here. Home of both the Reds and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hal Morris will lead it off. He's 2 for 2, has hit now a 9 straight. Had an 8-game hitting streak coming into this, batting .375 in that streak. Reds have the bullpen up right now. As we mentioned, Smiley suffering from a little stomach virus, and that's Hector Carrasco starting to throw, so maybe Smiley's starting to run out of gas on this hot, humid night. Morris with that interesting style of his as he's way off the plate and then moves. You can't believe he could be that good hitter moving that much.
Most hitting coaches would say there's way too much movement.
Well, you talk about a timing swing. He has the ultimate timing swing. Fouls that one back. He's done really well with it. But with all that movement, everything has to be perfect with him. You can see how he can go into funks. Look at this.
And he moves both feet.
And his arms. Swing. And the bat's moving. But he's had some great years with the bat. This year a little shaky. 2-1 to him. And he dribbles one foul first base side. Al Morris, formerly with the New York Yankees, came over here when Lou Piniella was manager. Piniella knew a lot about him and wanted him here, and he's done a good job in the Reds uniform. Flirted with a batting title one year. He just seems like he's moving more than ever now. Struck him out. Changeup, and that's the second strikeout of the game for Juden. One out here in the 6th inning, and that'll bring up Reggie Sanders. Reggie Sanders, 3rd in the league in doubles, 7th in homers, and 4th in stolen bases. What a package he is of power and speed.
Seems like he's getting better all the time, too.
Well, this has been his breakthrough year, that's for sure. High chopper to short. Stocker, a good play on a short hop. Low throw, dug out nicely. Jeffries, 2 outs. Good play on both ends of that.
Well, Stocker had to charge it and get that little short hop, but he never thrown him out, and then Jeffries dug one out of the dirt.
As we mentioned, he's a heck of a package because you can see how fast Reggie Sanders is. Ron Gant, who has singled and grounded out to 3rd. Had Ted Kluszewski as a trivia question answer tonight, and he's got some guns like Klue had. Look at those arms.
And they're not like Klue,
no,
believe me.
But they ain't bad.
Klue used to wear those, that kind of a shirt, but with no sweatshirt. All he had was bare arms hanging out.
And that was a trademark at Ted Kluszewski. Great player here in Cincinnati for a long time. Then wound up with the White Sox, I think, in '59 when they were in the World Series against the Dodgers.
He was a huge football player out of Indiana. And as gentle as could be is a good thing, too.
Smiley is out of the game. They're announcing he's leaving the game with a slight injury, and Carrasco will be coming in. So that'll do it for John Smiley tonight. And that'll do it for Ron Gant, and another 1-2-3 inning for Juden with 2 strikeouts. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Harry the K back with Whitey in the 7th. 1-0 Cincinnati.
Between the 2 of us, we had 1 chair, a lamp, and a microwave. And lots of bills. Even on 2 salaries, it wasn't easy. What we needed was a loan. With payments we could afford. Our Mellon PSFS banker helped us work it out. It made things a lot more comfortable around here.
Life improvement loans. Call 1-800-MELON-2. 1-800-MELON-2.
When they were small, we had a little sports car.
But then they got bigger, so we had to get a 4-door.
So we leased a new Volkswagen Jetta, $199 a month. Nice, huh? The German-engineered front-wheel drive Jetta comes with rack and pinion steering, daytime running lights, dual airbags. It's a great driving car.
It's got a big back seat.
And a huge trunk.
Weimaraners come from Germany.
Maybe that's why they like driving so much.
On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Nobody does it like you, the way that you do. Hoover, nobody does it like you.
After 6 innings of play, it's the Reds 1 and the Phillies nothing. Saturday at 8, Sheridan discovers the amazing truth about his wife's death on a special night of Babylon 5, only on PHL 17. Harry Kellis with us in the 7th. Harry.
All
right, thank you, Rich. And we have a new pitcher, Hector Carrasco, coming on for John Smiley. Smiley was taken out due to a groin muscle pull, and they'll evaluate his status tomorrow. That would be a big loss for Cincinnati if Smiley is out for any period of time. Smiley leads the game 6 innings, gave up just 2 hits and no runs, struck out 4 and didn't walk a batter. So Carrasco now is 2-3 with 5 saves, a good ERA of 2.75 is the new pitcher, and Tony Longmire pinch hits for Tom Marsh. 1 ball and no strikes to Tony Longmire. There you see Carrasco's numbers. 36 strikeouts and 26 walks. 2 balls and no strikes to Longmire. Longmire hitting at .374, 10 for 31 as a pinch hitter. 3 pinch hit home runs. He pops a foul out of play. It's 2-1. Balls and a strike to Tony Longmire, batting for Tom Marsh here in the 7th inning. High ground foul down the first base side. It's 2-2. Longmire has been playing just about every day in left field, even against some left-hand pitchers. Lenny Dykstra down for the remainder of the year. Beats that ball foul, stays alive at 2-2. Carrasco, the 25-year-old from San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. Five and 6 last year with 6 saves, a 2.24 ERA. They really shift Longmire. Arcing way over behind second base. He has a huge hole on the left side of the infield. Longmire is called out on strikes on a fastball. So that's 1 down. That'll bring on Darren Dalton.
I thought the ball was outside. It probably was a little bit. Might even been a little bit high. Encino has done a pretty good job back there tonight.
That one's upstairs for a ball. 1-0. They have the same shift on for Dalton as they did Longmire. You can understand with Dalton, because Dalton, anything he hits on the ground is on the right side. He hardly ever hits a ground ball on the left side. There you see the shift. But Longmire occasionally will hit the ball on the left side. Carrasco has fallen behind Dalton. 3 balls and no strikes.
I don't think they'll green light him. This is a tough home run park.
Taking all the way, it's 3 balls and a strike. Down in the end, he walked him. Dalton's aboard with a free ticket. And it'll bring on Mark Whitten, who is grounded out and lined out to right field. Whitten will bat left, the switch hitter against Carrasco. And Cincinnati will get their bullpen active once again. Chuck McElroy, the left-hander, getting up. 1 ball and no strikes to Whitten. side. 1-1 the count to Whitten. Low hit game. Reds have a run and 4 hits. Phillies have no runs and 2 hits.
Reds got 3 of those hits in the first inning. And a hit in the third. Nothing since.
Juden was saved a tough first inning on a great catch by Dave Gallagher. The only run coming across on that great play was a sacrifice fly off the bat of Reggie Sanders. Outside and high, 2-1. Drive hit to left field. The ball gets by Ron Gant. Dalton heads for third. Whitten rolling into second with a stand-up double. And the Phillies have runners at second and third with 1 down here in the 7th inning.
Nice piece of hitting there by Whitten in that he hit a pitch out away from him. And he got the barrel of the bat out there on top of it and lined it into left. It's hit so hard it got by again in a hurry.
And that'll bring on Charlie Hayes with the runners at second and third.
Leaving the infield back. No surprise.
Charlie is struck out and grounded to third base. In the dirt, a good catch by Santiago. 1 ball and no strikes to Charlie Hayes. Don Gullett, the pitching coach, is going to come out and talk to Carrasco. John Smiley had to leave this game. A 2-hit shutout through 6 in the groin muscle pull. So Carrasco is in his first inning in relief here. And Chuck McElroy continues to throw in Cincinnati's bullpen.
Ray Knight, Davey Johnson, Knight's the bench manager, they call him.
And Jim Fregosi, his dugout coach, John Vukovich. Well, they decided to put Charlie Hayes on. Going to intentionally walk Charlie Hayes to load the bases and set up a double play possibility. Now, Jim Fregosi does have some options. Although McElroy is up in the bullpen, he could go to a left-hand pinch hitter for Gallagher, but Chuck McElroy is ready if needed. And Gallagher is being called back.
And that'll bring on
Jim Eisenreich.
Jim Eisenreich. That'll bring on McElroy.
And if that brings on McElroy, that could bring on Mariano Duncan. So the wheels are spinning here, and Davey Johnson is going to go to the bullpen for Chuck McElroy. And now Jim Fregosi can counter if he wishes with Mariano Duncan as a pinch hitter. We'll see what he does. This is it for Carrasco. Fregosi and John Vukovich talking it over. We have a pitching change for the Reds, and the AT&T call to the bullpen salutes ACCU Staffing Services, the Delaware Valley's leader in clerical, technical, professional, and legal staffing services.
Lunchtime at the Fast Food Circus. It starts with the Grand Parade. Witness amazing stunts and spectacular balancing acts. Roar at the antics of the clowns.
Order, please.
Burger, fries?
Cherry pies?
No fries.
Pies?
At Denny's,
Fries.
we serve lunch without the sideshow for $2.99 every day. New $2.99 lunch basket. Golden fried shrimp, tender chicken pita, or juicy burger served tableside, not ringside.
How many pies?
New $2.99 lunch baskets every day at Denny's. And of course, the Grand Slam is just $1.99 every day.
It's like having a Phillies ticket window come right to your home. Call 463-1000 and reserve your tickets in advance. No rushing, no waiting, no hassle. 463-1000. It's like having a Phillies ticket window right in your home.
Travel provided by U.S. Air.
Chuck McElroy, the left-hander, is the new pitcher. This will be his 25th game. He's won 3, lost 2, no saves, a 4.71 ERA. 21 innings, 20 hits, 11 earned runs, struck out 16, walked 9. And as expected, Jim Fregosi will counter with Mariano Duncan batting for the announced pinch hitter, Jim Eisenreich. So Duncan comes on here with the bases loaded and 1 out. Duncan hitting .295 as a pinch hitter. He's 5 for 6 with 4 runs batted in.
I know batting practice doesn't mean anything, but he had an unbelievable batting practice. He had 5 straight balls out of the ballpark, 2 of them in right field.
Chases a high fastball. He missed it. 0-1 to Mariano Duncan. They weren't throwing him that high in BP.
No, they weren't, or that quite that hard. A good cut, but it was just too high to catch up to.
It's a foul. Might be playable. Is playable by Santiago, and that's a big out for Chuck McElroy. Duncan fouls out for out number 2 in the inning. Bases still loaded. And it will bring up Kevin Stocker. Stocker has been up twice. Twice he has struck out. Now he'll bat right-handed.
What a big out there for McElroy.
Andy Van Slyke moving into the on-deck circle to bat for Juden. Phillies have the bases loaded. 2 down here in the 7th inning. Pops a foul out of play. 1 strike to Stocker. Bit outside, 1-1. Phillies have Toby Borland, a right-hander, up. Cincinnati has Xavier Hernandez up in their bullpen. 1-0 Reds. Phils have them loaded with 2 down here in the 7th inning. Fouls it back and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Xavier Hernandez just kind of looking on here. Pops a fly down the right field foul line. Should be easy for Sanders, and is. And McElroy pitches out of a bases loaded 1-out jam. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Phillies lead and loaded. Stretch time at Riverfront. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 1-0 Cincinnati.
On Renegade.
Bobby, I need your help.
Okay, Jimmy, you've got it. Bobby and Reno get roped into busting a rodeo rustling scam.
Lanny is rustling prize breeding bulls and using the rodeo as a cover to transport them.
But when the boys saddle up and go undercover...
Stay right there, Reno. Take it easy.
Bobby, it could put them both out to pasture.
It's the moment you've been waiting for. Get rid of them.
Don't miss Renegade, Sunday at 7 on PHL 17.
The new Chevy Blazer gives you this elegant interior, exceptional quiet, and 3 power ports to plug in electronic equipment.
This is Lynn. Leave a message at the tone and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Isn't it nice to know all that's there, even if you're not?
You work hard for your money. We work hard to help you keep more of it.
You know, what you pay for a kilowatt hour of electricity from Pico Energy today is about the same as you paid 5 years ago. And you can rest assured that even though taxes or fuel costs may sometimes affect your bill, we're doing all we can to keep base rates right where they are until at least the year 2000. And that's a promise from all of us.
True or false? If your automobile has an airbag, it's unnecessary to wear a seatbelt. False. Airbags are designed to supplement a seatbelt in case you're ever in a head-on accident. So remember to always buckle up.
On the American League scoreboard tonight, Cleveland trouncing the White Sox 13-2. The Yankees beat Detroit 4-1. Milwaukee all over Baltimore 11-2. Boston-Toronto pitchers duel there, tied 1-1 in the 8th. And Minnesota leads Kansas City 4-3. Changes for the Phillies. Andy Van Slyke playing center field. He'll hit in the 9 spot. Jeff Juden out of the ball game. Toby Borland is the new pitcher. Tony Longmire, who pinch hits, stays in the game to play left. 2 balls and no strikes to Brett Boone. Reds leading 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Boone has walked and grounded out. Jeff Juden, after a shaky start, settled down and pitched a good ball game. 6 innings, gave up just 1 run, 4 hits, 3 of them in the first inning. Struck out 3 and walked 3. Borland has walked Boone on 4 pitches. Well, Boone is a leadoff base runner, and that'll bring on Benito Santiago. Santiago has flied to center and flied to deep center. Toby Borland, 1 win, no losses, 3 saves, a 3.73 ERA. 42 hits in 41 innings, 17 earned runs. It was his 22nd walk. He has struck out 29. Should be a double play ball. And is around the horn. Charlie Hayes to Mickey Morandini to Greg Jeffries as Santiago grounds into a 5-4-3 double play. 2 outs and no base runners. I'll bring up Mark Lewis, who has grounded out and walked. Reds a run, 4 hits, no errors. Phillies no runs, 3 hits and no errors. Game twice delayed because of rain, at the beginning for 24 minutes and in the first inning for 34 minutes. When there has been action, the game has moved right along.
Borland really hasn't thrown a strike yet. The double play ball was about ankle high.
Benito is known to chase bad pitches. But Lewis hasn't. 3 balls and no strikes, and Chuck McElroy waiting on deck. Came on 4 pitches. Now McElroy is a pitcher, but he's not an easy out. He can swing the bat. McElroy coming into this season 8 for 28, a .286 hitter. And 6 of his 8 hits were extra base hits. 3 doubles, 1 triple, 2 home runs. Don't just lay it in here to Chuck McElroy. He slices a foul ball down the left field side. McElroy this year is nothing for 2. A ball's and a strike to McElroy. Nothing in 2 to him. Just got his bat on the ball. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Outfield playing fairly shallow. Must not know McElroy's reputation. Van Slyke does, but the corners Longmire and Whitten don't. One and 2.
Whitten is really shallow from right field.
Hard ground ball, but gobbled up by Stocker to Morandini for the force on Lewis, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the 8th inning, 1-0, Cincinnati.
We live in an age where there's truth. In Turkey,
I discovered this at Boston Chicken. It felt real, honest. That's the truth in Boston Chicken's new rotisserie turkey breast. Turkey the way I like. Boneless, extra juicy, and a serving has only 1 gram of fat. Combine it with 2 of your favorite low-fat sides, and you've got a turkey feast that doesn't take days to burn off. Real turkey, real fast, and really low in fat.
New rotisserie turkey breast from Boston Chicken.
We can't stop people from running red lights. We can't teach dogs to look both ways. We can't keep rain from falling. Why did we design the Lexus ES the way we did? Because we can't stop thinking about your safety. Visit your New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania area Lexus dealer. We can't say enough about them.
It's our Chevrolet game summary. It's been a pitcher's night. John Smiley, 6 innings, no runs. Had to leave with a hamstring strain after the 6th. Only 2 hits he gave up, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Jeff Juden, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 hitter, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. And of course that 7th inning, the Phillies had the bases loaded, 1 out, and couldn't score. That was a huge inning for both clubs.
And Chuck McElroy, who got out of that jam, still out there in the 8th inning as Andy Van Slyke leads it off. Van Slyke batting for the first time. Jeff Branson now playing 3rd base for Cincinnati, replacing Mark Lewis. Two balls and no strikes to Andy Van Slyke. Van Slyke hitting .241 since joining the Phils. On the outside corner, it's 2-1. Slammed into right field, and it's caught brilliantly by Reggie Sanders. What a great grab by Reggie Sanders on a hard drive to deep right field.
I tell you, I don't know why he would be playing him over there that far. He got a good jump. He always gets a good jump. Caught it on the dead run, but most right fielders play Van Slyke in right center with a left-hand pitcher throwing.
Brings on Mickey Morandini. Morandini's grounded out, fly to center, and fly to deep right. Bouncing ball up the middle. Barry Larkin gets Morandini. That's 2 down here in the 8th inning. It'll bring on Greg Jeffries. Jeffries has hit it hard tonight. He is singled, line to short and line to center, and a great catch by Darren Lewis. And some good defensive plays in this game on both sides. and no strikes to Jeffries. Fouls it out of play, 1-1. Hector Carrasco came in for Smiley, got into big trouble, but Chuck McElroy has bailed him out. Foul down the right field side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. McElroy, the ex-Phil, ex-Cub. Ground ball deep short. Larkin backhands. Long throw. Gets through. Morris hits the fence fronting the dugout, so didn't go into the dugout. Jeffries will have to hold on at first base.
They might call that an error. Larkin's throw was low.
Actually had time to bounce it, but he bounced it right in the cutout. I think he was trying to bounce it.
Yeah, he got it in the dirt. Morris just couldn't hang on. Close play. I think they gave him a base hit.
So Jeffries will get an infield single, and it'll bring on Tony Longmire. He was struck out in his only at bat. Line drive speared by Boone, and that will end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Reds hanging to a 1-0 lead.
Recently, we at the Blues met the challenge of the 90s when the Norristown School District employees went all blue with personal choice.
The Blues really came through for the district, saving us almost $2.5 million, money we put into the classroom. The Blues went all out and provided us with the Personal Choice Network that includes most of their doctors and hospitals. No wonder other school districts are following our lead with Personal Choice. All blue means everybody wins.
Isn't it time to find out how Personal Choice can help your organization lean on all blue?
No matter what the sport, what the record, what the year, when a Philadelphia team plays a New York team, there's more on the line. The stakes are higher. And our Phillies battle the New York Mets Tuesday, August 8th, Wednesday, August 9th, and Thursday, August 10th, all at 7:35. Philadelphia, New York. Butler, Bonilla, Jones, Franco, Dalton, Morandini, Schilling, Slocum. Let's get it on. Call 463-1000.
In the news at this hour, James Austin, the Lehigh County man accused of shaking his infant son to death after he bought the boy from a surrogate mother, struck a deal today to avoid a possible life sentence. And the heat wave is taking its toll on people's moods. Why are so many of us so grumpy? We'll have more on these stories, plus sports and weather, all after the Phillies game. Join us here for Inquirer News Tonight.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted. By the Yellow Pages 9 out of 10 people use, the genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. And by Pico Energy, focusing our energies on you. Darren Lewis leads it off for Cincinnati, bottom of the 8th. He's grounded out, walked, and flied out. Toby Borland in his second inning in relief of Jeff Juden. Just missing for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Oh, again, Toby's going to have to start getting his pitches up a little bit. He's down with everything. He walked 2 in the 7th inning, was able to get out of that thanks to a double play ground out. That one was over at the knees. It's 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Darren Lewis. Jeff Branson, who's been the Reds' closer, is up in their bullpen. 2-2 to Darren Lewis. Jeff Brantley, excuse me. Missing, gets a full count. center field. Van Slyke over to cut it off. So Darren Lewis, a leadoff base runner here in the bottom of the 8th. That'll bring up Barry Larkin.
I don't think they'll bunt Larkin, although a bunt in order. He's too good a hitter.
Well, he could try to steal with Darren Lewis. He has 23 steals. He has been thrown out tonight. Called not to talk about possibility of a stolen base attempt here. Larkin is 1 out of 3. He has scored the only run of this game. It came in the first inning. Around the bunt, took it inside for a ball, 1-0. Bunts it foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. To Barry Larkin. Darren Lewis at first base and nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Bunts it, foul. No balls and 2 strikes. 30,668 paid attendance here tonight.
Won't be bunting now.
Larkin coming back to the plate. Count a ball and 2 strikes.
Borland has thrown all sinker balls since he's been in there. Hasn't thrown that slider he has.
Backing out of play. 1-2 to Barry Larkin. Darren Lewis, the runner at first base. Kitchen, and he loops it into shallow center. It's going to fall for a base hit. He jammed him, but Barry Larkin loops a single to center, and now the Reds have 2 men on base with nobody out here in the 8th inning.
Made a great pitch on him, but sometimes you make a great pitch and you still get hurt. No chance for anybody to catch it.
It'll bring up Hal Morris, who is 2 out of 3. He's singled twice and struck out. He has a 9-game hitting streak going for him.
I would think he would bunt because he's not running that well. If he hits a ground ball to an infielder, it might be a double play.
Stocker really pinched towards second base, and Morris hits the ball on the left side a lot. He's got a big hole between Kevin Stocker and Charlie Hayes. No bunt indicated, nope. Just missed for a ball. You see that hole between Hayes and Stocker. Gets a lot of balls that way.
He does, but he should be trying to pull the ball here to move these 2 runners.
1 ball and no strikes to Hal Morris. On the outside corner, it's 1-1. Morris looking down at Ray Knight, the third base coach.
He doesn't try to pull that outside pitch, though, and that's why that hole on the left side is dangerous.
Rounds a foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Phillies get Paul Quantrill up in the bullpen. Foul ball down the left field side, still 1-2. Quantrill, who had a chance to win last night's game, coming in out of the bullpen and couldn't hit a 3-run home run. We'll see that dissolve in that 9th inning rally by the Braves. Braves just hung on to win tonight over Montreal 4-3. Greg Maddux took a 4-1 lead into the 9th. Montreal got 2 in the 9th. Bowlers came in to get the save. Back through the middle, slowed down by Borland. They're going to get 1 out, and that's all. It'll go 1-4-6. Moving up to third base is Darren Lewis. Morris at first on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, kind of a weird play. The mound or Toby slowed it. I don't know which. Just barely able to get the force there. Hawken gave Stockler a little shot.
And it'll bring up Reggie Sanders. He has knocked in the only run of the game with a sacrifice fly on a great catch by Dave Gallagher. He's also grounded into a double play and grounded to short. So Borland will try to throw a ground ball here with the runners at first and third and 1 out. 1 ball and no strikes. Missing with his slider, 2-0. Reds lead 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Three balls and no strikes.
Pitches are just a little too low. They're good pitches to hit for ground balls, but Sanders is not chasing. He could get a green light.
He did, and he missed it. 3 balls and a strike.
A little slide ball there.
Three and 1 to Reggie Sanders. Another slider, and he popped him up. Might be playable. Jeffries near the stands. No. Runs out of room. Hitting on top of the Cincinnati dugout. It's a full count now to Reggie Sanders. Red runners first and third. Darren Lewis at third. Hal Morris at first. 1 out. Here in the 8th inning.
Good time for the slider if he could get it anywhere near the strike zone.
Breaking ball. Ball 4. That was close. Didn't get the call. And the bases are loaded with Reds, and Johnny Padres will come out and talk to Toby Borland.
pitch was, unless he thought it was high.
Well, here it is.
Oh, man.
That's right down the middle of the plate. That should be strike 3 called, but was not. And he evidently called it high. So they're loaded with 1 out for Ron Gant. Gant has single grounded out and struck out. The strike zone is
moving around.
Nothing above the belt.
That was not nearly as good a pitch as the last one.
Now balls and a strike to Ron Gant. Missing low, 1-1. Trying to keep this a 1-0 game here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Close. 2 balls and a strike.
Missed the outside corner.
Gant wide open, as you see. 3-1. Now Gant will look for a fastball to drive here with the bases loaded, 1 out.
Can't be nibbling anymore. He has to challenge him.
Beats it foul. It's a full count. 3-2 to Ron Gant with the bases loaded, 1 down here in the bottom of the 8th.
It was a pretty good 3-1 pitch. I mean, a pretty good pitcher's pitch at 3-1. Right down there. Low pitch. Not too low. A little sink on it.
To third base. Charlie Hayes knows he won't get 2, so he gets the lead runner at the plate. They got the force at home plate. Hayes to Dalton for out number 2. Everybody else moves up. That's a big out for Borland.
Gant swung at ball 4 too. That pitch was way down. These guys want to hit. They want to get those RBIs. Cost them a run though. Temporarily, at least.
Bases still loaded. 2 outs for Boone, who was walked, grounded out, and walked. Low, 1-0.
Pinch runner.
Jerome Walton running at first base. Or Gant. Ground ball shortstop should be out of the inning. Stocker to Morandini. And Borland gets out of a bases loaded 1-out jam. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. The Reds leave them loaded. We go to the 9th inning, still 1-0 Cincinnati.
Is it our imagination, or is MCI saying some pretty nasty things about AT&T lately? Maybe it's because 4 out of 5 customers will save more with AT&T True Savings than with friends and family. Or because AT&T True Rewards members enjoy points good for free AT&T minutes and free frequent flyer miles just for being AT&T customers. Maybe that's why every week thousands of MCI users are switching to AT&T. Call to switch to AT&T now. Your true choice, AT&T.
Lunchtime at the Fast Food Circus. It starts with the Grand Parade. Witness amazing stunts and spectacular balancing acts. Roar at the antics of the clown.
Order, please.
Burger, fries?
Cherry pies?
No fries.
Pies?
At Denny's, we serve lunch without the sideshow for $2.99 every day. New $2.99 lunch basket. Golden fried shrimp, tender chicken pita, or juicy burger served tableside, not ringside.
How many pies?
New $2.99 lunch baskets every day at Denny's. And of course, the Grand Slam is just $1.99 every day.
It's big, and it happens only once a year. The banners are going up, and America's best sellers are moving out. It's Ford's factory-authorized clearance now at your Quality Plus Ford dealer. With cashback and option discounts, you'll save over $2,900 on Ford F-150, America's #1 truck, and over $2,300 on Ford Ranger. Every Ford truck is clearance price to move. This is one event that's too big to miss. Hurry in for the best selection during Ford's factory-authorized clearance, only at your Quality Plus Ford dealer, and save.
After 8 innings of play, Cincinnati won and the Phillies nothing. Sunday at 7, Reno saddles up to help Bobby's friend in a cattle operation on Renegade, only on PHL 17. Jeff Brandley is the new pitcher coming in to try to close this one out. Jerome Walton stays in the game to play left field. He came in to pinch run for Gant. And Brandley, who has been their closer, has won 3, lost 1, saved 22 out of 24 opportunities, a 2.82 ERA. 51 innings, 37 hits, 16 runs. He struck out 49 and walked just 15. Be facing Darren Dalton here in the 9th inning. Dalton to be followed by Mark Whitten and then Charlie Hayes. 1 strike to Dalton, who has flied out, been hit by a pitch ball and walked. Drive to right field, but right at Sanders. The Phillies really have hit in tough luck tonight. There have been a lot of line drives caught by Reds fielders. 1 down. That'll bring on Mark Whitten. Whitten is grounded out, lined out to right, and doubled. Nothing. Reds lead. Called strike. And our best of the David Horkey and Tom Johnson households of Norristown and Hatfield from John Filer of our great crew here in Cincinnati. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gooden has one of the Philly 4 hits. He doubled his last time up. There, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Probably see that split finger now.
It was, and it was low. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Whitten.
Good pitch. It wasn't a strike, but it was a good pitch. It's you don't see many hitters lay off that with 2 strikes to count.
Line foul. Brought down the Phillies bullpen by Gary Parshow. Made it look easy, did Barsh. Still 3-2. Breaking ball, and he beats it foul. a scoring opportunity in the 7th. Bases loaded, 1 out, but Chuck McElroy came in to get a pop up and a fly ball. That's punched into the left center. It's going to drop for a base hit for Whitten, his 2nd hit. So Whitten is a 1-out base runner. That'll bring up Charlie Hayes. Charlie's 0 for 2. He struck out, grounded out, and been intentionally walked. Lifetime against Brantley, 2 hits in 12 at bats, 1 of them a home run. Fly to center. It's well hit, but it's going to be caught by Darren Lewis. And Lewis quickly gets it back into the infield. Whitten will have to hold on at first base. And with 2 outs, Lenny Webster will come out as a pinch hitter for the pitcher Toby Borland. So Webster to pinch hit. He's hitting at .220. As a pinch hitter, he is nothing out of 4. Two down here in the 9th inning. Reds lead it 1-0. Over for a called strike. 0-1 to Lenny Webster. Up there, blocked by Santiago. 1 ball and 1 strike. Breaking ball hit to deep center field. Darren Lewis back. Makes the catch right against the fence, and that will end the ball game. Jeff Brantley saves his 23rd. Phillies go down in the 9th. Bills hit some balls hard tonight, but couldn't dent the plate as the Reds win it by a score of 1-0. We'll be back with the totals and a recap in just a moment.
Choices. We need them fast to calm the diva down. She won't last. We need them fast. 9 out of 10 use it. The genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages.
When they were small, we had a little sports car.
And then they got bigger, so we had to get a 4-door.
So we leased a new Volkswagen Jetta, $199 a month. Nice, huh? The German-engineered front-wheel drive Jetta comes with rack and pinion steering, daytime running lights, dual airbags. It's a great driving car.
It's got a big back seat.
And a huge trunk.
Weimaraners come from Germany.
Maybe that's why they like driving so much.
On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
It's art that tells me to break from convention.
It forces me to explore my inner self.
It commands me to think.
It orders me. A nice porterhouse.
The new private issue card, a work of art that really works. You pick how it looks, the features you want, even your billing date.
Visually appealing, yet delightfully utilitarian.
What's the card you designed? It's a private issue. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
Catch the sun, have some fun, get a free Pride of the Phillies poster in the Final Mellon PSFS Business Person Special when the Phillies play the Expos, Monday, August 14th at 1:05. Good team, good fun, goodbye. Business Person Specials. Call 4631.
Back at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, the Reds hang on for a 1-0 lead. The only run of the game scoring in the first inning on a sac fly by Reggie Sanders. For the Reds, 1 run, 6 hits, no errors. They left 8. For the Phils, no runs, 5 hits, no errors, 7 left. John Smiley's 6 strong innings. He had to lead with a groin muscle pull. He got the win. He's 11-1. Jeff Juden lost at 0-1. A save for Jeff Brantley, his 23rd. Our Chevrolet player of the game, Reggie Sanders, who knocked in the lone run of this game and also played great defense, took extra bases away from Andy Van Slyke on a drive to lead off the 8th inning. Reggie Sanders is our Chevrolet player of the game. Reds winning by a score of 1-0. We'll be back with more from Riverfront right after these messages.
Time magazine calls Apollo 13 one hell of a ride.
Houston, we have a problem.
The best movie of 1995. Tom Hanks, Apollo 13. Rated PG. Now playing.
Who's worried about the air we're breathing? Who's controlling emissions and expanding the use of non-polluting fuels? And who's already decreased the pollutants in our air by more than 3 million tons a year? Who? People like you. People who live here. People who know what you care about.
Pitching dominating tonight at Riverfront. Cincinnati, a first inning run. It holds up 1-0 final Reds as John Smiley wins his 11th, the loss going to Jeff Juden. Our next telecast here on the Phillies television network Sunday afternoon for the final game of this series with the Reds. It'll be Sid Fernandez going for the Phils and Pete Schurig for Cincinnati. He'll be looking for his 12th win. We'll be on the air at 2 o'clock. Check your local listings for the games carried in your area. Jeff Brantley came in to get his 23rd save as Cincinnati won by a score of 1-0 over the Phillies in a game twice delayed because of rain. For Rich Ashburn and Chris Wheeler, Harry Callis, thanks a lot for watching. We'll talk to you on Sunday from Riverfront on the Phillies television network.
Phillies baseball has been brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. The Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 people use the genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. By the all-new Chevy Blazer, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Test drive it at your local Chevy dealer. Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies, featuring full-service evening and 7-day banking. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. For 57 years, the health insurance company you can lean on.